So, last time, a recap. Here we go. So, a chance meeting along a coastal road led our party together. You were all set to enjoy a very lovely gumbo dinner when you were interrupted by Mr. Willem Grimes, the self-professed tax collector for the Lord of the Fairwood, a man
And a
he
very
called,
grimy person.
yeah, a man he called Vanis Theron. So, hoping to avoid the continued extortion of your host Barnaby, and very keen to avoid violence. Noel cast Charm Person on Willem, and then the party worked together to subtly drive Willem and his men away from the shack before the spell expired. Once the ruffians had departed, you all quickly determined that the safest course of action was to travel north, avoiding the road, and make for Helmfirth, and beyond it, report. So the party has set up camp a few hours from the shack and are hiding in the eaves of the forest off the side of the road. Do we have any questions before we get started?
Um, are we picking up like as at the start of watches, or are we just skipping the first night?
We will pick up right at watches, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question. Is this butter on this shrimp?
You carrying the bowl with you this whole time?
Of course I did. I ain't gonna waste good gumbo.
Excellent. Yes, I did.
Uh,
It's definitely cold by now.
other
Oh yeah, no,
clarification.
I know.
Do we? I don't believe. I believe I was going to the bathroom when people decided watch orders, so I'm curious what was decided for that.
So Aloran has first watch, followed by Barnaby and John. So that's no, Burberry has first watch, then Aloran, Barnaby, John.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I took the last watch.
And we.
Yeah, Burberry has first watch.
So we're doing 2-hour shifts. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So Burberry, to start us off, let's get a perception check to begin your watch.
Say 18.
18. Okay. So, it's quiet. Without the benefit of a fire, your vision is definitely limited to a pretty tight radius around your camp.
No, it's not.
But keeping an open ear, you listen for any sound of passage along the road or in the trees around you, and it is quiet. You don't have any midnight visitors. You were not assailed by any foul beasties of the night. Your watch passes without incident. So, in 2 hours' time, Burberry is going to wake up Aloran, and Aloran is going to take up her watch shift. So, if I can get a perception check from you. I think yours is a +5.
That's a 19.
19 total. Okay. Again, eyes and ears on a swivel. You have a peaceful watch.
Does Aloran have ears?
Yeah.
He senses vibrations through the air through her cilia.
Elliot. Ugh.
I have fins, sir.
Aren't cilia part of a fin?
Aren't those like the weird little hairs? Like
I think
the-
they're hairs, but they're
Fish
no,
don't
they're in
have
the
ears.
ear. They're in the ear. Yeah.
Fish don't have ears that we can see, but they have ear parts in their heads.
Okay, I sense an argument that we could go for half an hour on, so we're gonna move on. Aloran's watch ends without incident. You are able to wake up the next watcher. And that is Barnaby.
Huh?
You can give me a perception check, please, as you take up your watch.
I guess I can do that.
You've been asleep for 4 hours, and it's now your turn.
His thoughts about that man who been stealing all his fermented fish. That's a 7.
7. Yeah, Barnaby, you've had a very stressful night, and you probably crashed pretty hard when you did finally get to sleep. And now waking up, you're groggy. You're not really fully awake. You're cold. You just kind of sit and shiver for a couple of hours, ruminating on the events of this past evening.
He has done an injustice to the Otis family.
Thankfully, nothing comes to pass. And as you start to nod off at the end of your watch, John, you've had 6 hours of sleep. You start to rouse, feeling refreshed, and are able to relieve Barnaby of his watch. So go ahead and give me one last perception roll.
I'm 19.
19. Good, clean watch. And John, you have the wonderful benefit of getting to sit and watch the sunrise through the leaves of the trees overhead. Nice, semi-clear morning, looks like. Lots of clouds, big, white, puffy ones, glowing pink in the rising sunlight. Looks like it might rain again today. But the night passes without incident, and you all wake up refreshed from a long rest. So, for anyone who has expended spell slots, anyone who has used hit dice, which I know we haven't done yet, anyone who has lost hit points, all of that has been restored by a good night's sleep.
Awesome. I have 2 questions which are semi-related to this.
Okay.
The first one is, first question is, how are you handling the whole weird short rest, long rest? Like, if you get, like, interrupted 2 hours into a long rest, does it count as a short rest type thing?
I personally think that if you get an hour of rest in, it should count as a short rest.
Okay, so if we got woken up halfway through the night, then we could have counted that as a long rest and roll hit dice before we got into combat. Or a short rest, excuse me.
That'd be a 50-50 chance depending on where you woke up in your REM cycle.
That would actually be an interesting mechanic. Maybe a little too granular for 5e, but...
Maybe. That is a little mean. But, yeah, I'd say if you were interrupted, that you could roll some hit dice before combat started, because it would count as a short rest, for sure.
Okay. Other second question, which is not currently important, but might be, how are you wanting to do healing potions? Like, is that like an action to feed someone a healing potion, or can you drink a healing potion on your turn as like a bonus action, or like what's your approach?
Potions are still in action.
Potions still in action, and you can feed them to other people to revive them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
Alright, sorry. Just clarifying things that might be relevant someday.
Are you planning on specializing in potion brewing again?
No, I am going to stay as far away from potions as I can, because they're not super useful for me at level 1.
I'm going to roll an insight on that later. But for the time being, that was your first night as a party. Y'all are all safe and sound. No visitors. No hostile encounters of any kind. Things are good. You ready to continue marching northward?
I just had a question for John.
Who?
So I guess I'll like walk up to him while he's eating breakfast or something. John? Hello?
Aging John Stone.
Oh my god,
You're
he's
one
dead.
of the age. Oh, he died. He died on water.
I close his eyes with my hand.
And so passes the barbarian.
Our first death.
Rest in peace. God, this campaign got real brutal real fast.
You know?
There it is.
There he is.
Okay, for some reason when I go over to John, it literally doesn't say anything for some reason.
That's weird. Well, John,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
out momentarily, but you woke up.
Wait, test it again?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that sounds like John.
I don't know why you guys couldn't hear me before. That's weird.
Well, I didn't want this to be a big thing. I just had a question. When we get to Helmfirth, who are we going to be seeking out exactly?
The guildmaster there is my sorry. He's probably the best one to talk to.
Does he have a name?
Spot that actually.
But did we ever decide on a name, or should I just create one out of
Everybody.
Are you wanting another incident like normal?
Yeah. Name the guildmaster.
Gildo.
Son of a bitch.
Guy.
It's like a dentist being named Dr. Teeth.
God, I can't think of a name. Give me a second.
Just something medievally. It's fine.
End time. I don't know.
You know I'm really bad at
Waynesboro.
doing shit off the top of my head.
Patrick.
Brian.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gimli. Gordon? I like Gordon.
Gordon Ramsay, the guildmaster.
Gordon the Guildmaster?
The guildmaster's name is Bram Pelton.
You say
Grant?
Bram.
Bram Pelton?
B as in boy.
Oh. Bram. B-R-A-M.
Yes.
Pelton.
Pelton. All right.
You hear me better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Bram Helton.
Helton.
Bram Pelt with an H.
The mic is like.
I don't think
I
it's
have
the
to put it on
okay.
my freaking chest or something.
I don't know if it's the mic. I think just when you do the lowering voice, it's like a little bit choppy because that's. Well, it gets more complicated, but algorithms for lowering voice aren't very good at interpolating things like that. It's weird.
Can you hear me any more clearly now?
Yeah. I think if you speak a little slower, actually, that might help.
Okay, I guess I'll speak a little slower.
Stephen Cruz Guild.
But yeah, Bram Helton
Okay.
is the guildmaster's name.
And since we're talking about a character, there is a character channel in the Discord if you guys want to keep track of characters there. Just so y'all know.
Okay.
I'll make a thing in there for him.
I'm opting to take notes physically this time, so I'm just gonna have my own notebook. But if you guys want to do that, that's fine.
That's fair. I'm just putting it all at your disposal. Good job. Good player. Thank you.
What was the name of the town again?
Helmsfirth.
Helmfirth.
It's your hometown, man. Come on. You named it.
It was another one you made me come up with on the freaking spot.
Every day we're going to ask John, where are we going? Who are we talking to?
I did not mean for this to be a thing. And then I was just gonna ask.
So we're meeting up with Bram, and then what is the plan from there? For you, at least.
That's going to depend on how it changes the quest that I'm on.
And your quest previously was just to track them down?
So my quest originally was because a fellow guild member disappeared en route, delivering a shipment of goods to Handlar, and it's been over a month since anyone's seen him. So the guildmaster sent me out to check Fairwood Road and see if I could find anything.
And you are now suspicious of Willem,
White.
with good reason.
Seems like the bandit type.
I'm a little worried
I
that
suppose
there's...
it doesn't. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm a little worried that there's perhaps more of these men. It sounded like this was not just him alone. This might be a larger operation.
My biggest worry is that there's actually a feudal lord behind him.
Yes, that would be unpleasant.
So I think the best choice is to meet up with the local guildmaster, see if he knows of any or this person that they were mentioning, or has heard of the person we met, and
I need a
depending.
history check on that name.
Which name?
The feudal lord that he mentioned.
Vanis Theron.
Thank you.
So we should probably put that in the characters thing again. Yeah, what was the guy that we met again? Grimes.
Willem Grimes.
Willem Grimes.
Name I shall never forget.
Grimes.
Just call him Grimey.
What I always called him, and that's what I will call him until his end of day, which hopefully shall not be too much longer. Wow.
Woo! Barnaby got
Willem is Willam.
E-N.
I put it as EM, like Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
Um,
And then what was the Theron or whatever?
VANISTHERAN.
Yep.
Hold up. VANISTHERAN. Okay.
can I do a history check on that name?
You can. I'm gonna let you know. You not being a local, this will be a high DC for you.
That's okay. And I'm sorry, but also I'm not sorry. I actually rolled a nat 20.
Wow.
So that totals to 24. I figure since he's a feudal lord, that kind of something that we might be wary about in travel.
So, okay. So this is interesting then. Let me. On a success, I will say, having traveled as much as you have, you are actually relatively, familiar with the ruling lords of, say, in the Midlands.
Especially the asshole ones.
Yeah, some of the more powerful, prominent families of Inigard, even further west. And two things about that claim jump out at you. One, you've never heard of Vanis Theron before. And two, you also know, you are very confident about this fact, that the Emerald Coast doesn't really have lords the way the rest of the continent does. The Emerald Coast is kind of a frontier region. The ruling class, so to speak, doesn't hail from nobility. They're just very wealthy. They got out here first, and they got the luckiest, and bought up the land. But they're not connected to, any noble houses or anything like that. So those two pieces of information together, I think, tell you that this is a shady figure making this claim.
Unfortunately, it has been a year or so since I've been through the area, but I've never heard of a Vanis Theron, and I'm pretty good knowing what areas I should avoid for such reasons.
And he like does that head tilt, and adds,
In fact, lords aren't really a thing in this area, if I recall. Unless that's changed recently.
Check for John, because I have no idea.
They tend to hail the almighty gold.
So, John, you want a history check?
Is this something John would even know? I have no idea.
I mean, you've lived in the area, so you would have a better picture of local politics, I guess. Although
John has literally zero in history, so.
I'd say you're
13.
lower, but your proficiency's not there. It's not going to help you much. So go ahead and roll for
He
it.
said 13.
13.
13? Yeah.
Yep.
You've never heard of this guy either.
I meant about just ruling
You
area.
can corroborate what Burberry has said, that, lordship and nobility are not really things in the Emerald Coast. Either you've got money or you don't, but you're not really, set apart from everyone else the way the nobles are.
Given that...
I feel like I would...
Go ahead.
I was like, I feel like I would have heard of someone purchasing the land between Helmfirth and Handelar, since I traveled that area a lot.
With the 13, I'm going to say you probably haven't heard any news to that effect. That's not to say that it's not true or not, but you don't know. You just haven't heard.
Given this new information, can I... This is weird. Could I, history or, insight with a high DC to think back on my conversation with Willem and see, if he To see if he like made up this name or something, like if he was lying.
Sure. Give me an insight check.
Okay. Terrible. Like a 10.
10. Yeah. I think as much as you had going on last night, probably weren't as dialed into, the veracity of his claim, reading his expression. You were just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That was your feeling. So.
Well, I'm inclined to believe that Venice is someone. I don't know if he made the name up on the spot, but the way the spell works, he's not inclined to mislead me. Excuse me. So it's probably someone higher up in whatever organization he's working for, but I guess not a lord.
Why don't we just capture him and ask him personally?
Well, on my particular time reading books in the library, I ran across this one. It wasn't a god, it was a very powerful person. The book was called The Godfather.
What's that book about?
Basically, a lord without being a lord who ran a criminal organization. It sounded highly interesting.
I've not read that one.
One sec, I'm just writing Godfather is canon in my notes.
I couldn't resist.
Alright. Unless anyone else has anything, I think we could probably get moving.
Sorry, I didn't know if there was like a mob equivalent name.
I'm kind of suspecting a mob, to be honest, but we'll see.
No, mobs back then were just, actual mobs.
Well, I mean, it did seem like there were a lot of people. Weren't there?
Yes, it seemed like a big operation.
And that literally could have been all their forces for all we know.
That's true.
That's another reason I think we should take this to the Guildmaster, as he should be able to understand the structures of the powers here a little bit more than I do.
Oh, I have actually a question, sort of. So did we, or I guess I wasn't awake for any of the watches, but conferring in the morning, did anyone see anyone on the road? Because we were kind of just in the tree line.
Yeah.
So
no sign of anyone on the road.
Okay.
And yeah, 3 of you had really good watches, so none of y'all saw anything.
Okay.
It was a quiet, calm night.
Well, if you all are ready to go, I think we could probably move back to the road.
What about breakfast?
What? I'm sorry, what?
What about breakfast?
Oh, I just assumed we were eating breakfast.
How about second breakfast?
Yeah,
Well, we've had one, yes.
I'm hungry.
Second breakfast should be canon too.
And reheat the gumbo, it's probably still good.
There's 2 hobbits inside.
Yeah.
I mean, Lauren is closest in size to a hobbit.
That is true, actually. But
I mean, Noel could technically shift into a hobbit.
Okay.
Sort of. It's not quite as OP as it sounds like.
actually, all right, flavor question. I've got a flavor question for the group. What kind of rations are you guys packing? Like, what do you guys buy? What do you like to eat when you're traveling?
I'm assuming I just have like dried meats and breads.
Basic.
Fried seafood and seaweed.
Yeah.
Sure,
Party will
John.
never know.
I'm sure John would have a mixture of dried meats, some biscuits, maybe some fruits that he picked along the way.
Okay.
Also, I did bring my my cauldron full of gumbo.
Oh yeah, can we
Still got some
can we have
left.
cold gumbo in the morning? To not
I said I
waste a
would
ration.
reheat it.
If you want to start a fire, you can cook the gumbo again.
I'll reheat the gumbo.
All right, we'll
Probably,
reheat the
probably
gumbo
can
and
get
have
another meal out of this with breakfast, and then I think that'll be all for it. That just means we'll have to make more.
Man, that was a lot of gumbo if you fed, what, 13, 14 people and there's still enough for breakfast left over?
It's thick stuff. Very filling.
He cooks a big fucking pot.
Fair enough.
Just keeps that thing on the fire for days.
It's
like
just the eternal gumbo.
Yes. Exactly.
Constantly adding shit. Unfortunately, yeah, the gumbo probably won't keep for too long, so.
I figure I could get a breakfast out of it, and then that's going to be about it.
I mean, anything that buys me another day without having to waste a ration.
So.
I feel like the Burberry eats like before he comes out of his tent.
That's fair. Burberry's a little gun shy about exposure. I think y'all are picking up.
I've gotten that vibe.
Yeah. So, after finishing your meal and your conversation, kind of pooling information, y'all pack up camp and begin your day's journey. So, to start off, 2 questions. How fast are y'all wanting to move? Y'all can move slowly to try and conceal your movements, but you won't cover as much distance. Y'all can move at a normal pace, or y'all can move quickly with reckless abandon and literally no concern for stealth.
I wouldn't normally be the one to propose this, but I do think maybe moving quickly might be good on the first day. Just to get as much distance between us and Willem as possible.
We should do a
I agree.
in case Willem's out there, so we're not just overlooking something.
Lauren is super, super quiet.
Can't hear her at all.
Jack's girl.
I think we should do a normal pace.
I know you haven't been feeling well, but you got to project.
Here, let me scooch this like I had 6 inches over to the edge of the desk. Maybe that'll help.
Are you guys on the same mic?
Yeah.
Well, that was.
Did you guys have-
That's your problem.
Actually, here, let me put it literally in between us on the cat bed. There.
Is this better, guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a
way
lot better.
Splendid.
There.
I think we should move at a normal pace so that we can still be on the watch just in case, like, if it is like a bandit organization, they might have little outposts ahead. And
Do you think in moderate where we're partially stealthy but still moving at a relative good pace?
Yes.
I'm down for that.
Because we snuck throughout the entire night, so now we're just gonna, I don't want to recklessly abandon the stealth to get.
Having just traveled this way, would I have seen any lookout posts or anything like that, but
Let's call this like a retroactive perception check.
because I was looking out for things on my way
You were,
here.
yeah, you were. So go ahead and give me a perception check. Just
Okay.
for past week of
Natural 20
natural 20. Okay.
plus 4.
So, John, you actually have a pretty solid idea of what lies ahead along this route, having just walked it and been paying very, very close attention. So, you do know that probably a little more than a day from here, there is this old abandoned lighthouse. If you guys were to hustle, you could probably reach that by nightfall. You also know that a couple more that there is this one campsite that is it's kind of like this large, like built out, communally maintained campground that travelers use. Large caravans tend to stop there to kind of regroup and rest and, forage. That's probably, like I said, about 3 days away from where you're at right now. And beyond that, Helmfirth is probably another 4 days away. And you could probably get there sooner if you hustled. Beyond that, that on the beaches, there are some very small fishing villages. And I mean, like, small. We're talking like 4 or 5 families. Kind of just living together, fishing off the coast. There's, of a couple like hunting lodges, some shacks, off the road, in the woods, where, some settlers, very much keep to themselves, don't, mess with anybody. aren't very welcoming to travelers or strangers. But nothing matching the description of like a bandit outpost necessarily. Not on the road, at least as far as you know.
If we are careful around certain spots where they're probably going to be watching for us, I think we could rush in between those areas and then stop and get a little bit slower once we're getting close.
The important thing is there anything in the next day of travel? Because if not, I think we could do a fast pace.
The only thing within a day is that lighthouse if we hurry.
If you're
Yeah.
confident.
There, we can hurry.
I personally would prefer to get to him a bit closer, a bit quick like.
Also depends on if we're going on the road, if we're going in the forest.
I think we could take the road.
On road, I say we definitely go for speed instead of stealth.
Just for this first day.
So fast pace is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
All right.
Fast pace on the road,
Also,
just for the
that's what
first
two
day.
of us are saying.
So on
What's
day
the other
one,
opinions?
moving at a fast pace, I believe that you have disadvantage on perception checks.
Okay.
To glimpse danger ahead of time, but you are moving faster, so you will reach, as John said, you'll probably reach that lighthouse on this first day of travel. So if I could get a D20 roll from one member of the party.
Pick me.
And volunteers.
She just volunteered.
Yeah,
Well,
sounds
Do
like
it, Johnny.
Give me a D20.
Sorry if I failed.
This is with disadvantage?
But is this a perception?
This is just a regular D20 roll. 13? Okay. Good to know. I'll file that away. So, you guys begin your day of travel. Oh, and then the second point that we need to cover was marching order. How are you guys going to be arranged on the road? Is this like a loose cluster? Are you going single file? Are you fanned out across the road? Like, how do y'all
How
want to be?
wide is the road?
It's wide enough for wagons to pass each other. So, probably like 10 feet across.
I think we'd probably cluster on the right side just to avoid traffic.
I would be walking next
Single
to
file,
Noel. That's what I'm
double
used to
file.
doing.
Fair enough. Anyone want to take lead?
I think John will take the lead since he's familiar with the area.
Alright. So,
I'll call John since he's the closest one I know out of the group.
alright,
He's
so
also
John,
the one who knows where we're
Barnaby,
going.
Well, and Burberry and Lauren.
Yep.
Okay. So, with the arrangement settled, then let's go ahead and roll some perception checks.
Can I-
Additionally, please.
Weird question for Lauren. How, for your since you're so small, is your walking speed still 30 feet?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, she is a medium creature. She is just the shortest of the group because half of you are fucking giants.
I think speed only becomes an issue when you become a gnome. I think they got 20.
I think, yeah, gnomes and goblins are 20, dwarves are 25, hobbits are 20, or no, hobbits are 25, excuse me.
I could have sworn.
I don't think anyone does go down to 20.
No, I think it's
I
all
think it's
25.
25.
Maybe you're right. I haven't looked at gnomes recently.
Except for maybe small creatures.
So
Or no,
you
I
roll
mean tiny
2d20s.
creatures.
Yep.
Anyway, what are we rolling?
Perception at disadvantage for your fast pace.
Disadvantage.
Yes.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 13 and then a 3. So 7.
3.
11
rough.
total.
So John got a 7 total.
Okay.
Someone roll something good.
Y'all are not.
No, that was awful.
Your goal is to book it. What did you get, Barnaby?
That'd be a 6.
Ooh,
I'm posting it because of how awful it is. You said we got disadvantage on perception, right?
yeah. Did you get double ones?
No, I got something even worse than that.
1 in a 20.
Let me post.
The 1 to 20.
The suspense. That's...
Oh, guy. That's rough. That's rough.
For a brief moment, I could see everything, and then it all vanished.
Yep, that's a 1 in 20.
Wait, do you have proficiency in perception?
Yes.
Okay, I have you marked down as having Dick. That should be an 11 then. Sorry about that.
I do, because I got an 8. I got an 8 in wisdom, but I took...
It should
So
be.
I at least had a plus in perception rather than a minus.
Yeah. Fine.
So what you're saying is that for a moment, Barnaby could see everything, but then he realized that the gumbo wouldn't keep, and he worried for a split second. But then he was okay because he's like, "No, we're probably good for another 2 days." He looked again.
Don't worry, guys.
Then I looked back at my barrel and realized we done ate it all anyway, so then I raised the futility of it all.
I don't think any of you... Did anybody roll over a 10?
I got an 11.
Okay, one person rolled over a 10. Yeah.
Didn't Lauren get a 13 or no?
No, she got a 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those were rough. If something was going to attack you, it would have gotten the drop on you. Thankfully, you guys are clear today. As y'all kind of speed walk, power walk down the road, you're kind of winding in and out of a sight of the beach. The land starts to kind of rise towards the second half of the day. You kind of feel yourselves kind of moving slowly uphill, and when you do sort of veer closer to the edge of the tree line, you can see down where the land kind of drops off into this cliff. And by the end of the day, you're probably 200-300 feet up from the water, kind of out looking over the ocean. And as the sun begins to set up ahead, true to his word, you can see the lighthouse that John described. This old, abandoned tower that's just kind of rising up out of the forest along the cliff edge.
I give thanks to the god Canthor,
Which one is that?
god of open paths.
Hmm.
Open roads, to be... Well, no path works too.
Do
The
we-
translation was a little fuzzy.
I see. Do we think it'd be safe to stay in the lighthouse?
It's got a light, doesn't it?
It does not.
I was gonna say,
It
does
is
it?
very old. It is overgrown with ivy, and as you draw closer to it, you can see that the roof has partially collapsed, exposing the top level. This is a very, very old structure. You can see that right off the bat, and it does not look like it has been lived in for a very long time.
It could potentially be a good lookout point from the top.
I don't know if it'd be good to climb all the way up. It doesn't look very stable, but perhaps just staying inside for a night, as long as we're calm and not moving around too much.
This lighthouse has withstood
It
the
has
test
been
of
raining
time.
sporadically over the course of the day, yes.
Stark would be proud.
And it is probably drizzling right now. It's not heavy rain, but it is pretty much constant at this point.
I'll just keep using Barnaby's spare or Burberry spare hat.
It's not just me.
Yeah, no, that's first time I've done that. Not gonna be the last.
Don't worry about it.
It's a good hat. It has seen me through much.
So,
So is there a door? Is there like an open door, or is it closed? Or
You guys want to go check out the tower then?
I do.
At this point,
Yeah.
you're looking at it at a distance, and it's sunset.
yeah, we'll
Yes.
make our way to the tower.
Okay.
We should probably approach like as quietly as we can, just in case there's someone stationed there.
Stealth up.
You want to stealth it?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like we should.
Stealth rolls in from everyone. I think the only person who's got not light armor is Burberry. Are you wearing scale mail?
No, I'm wearing leather armor.
Oh, everyone's got leather armor. Okay, no worries then. Everyone's.
I don't have any leather armor.
24
I'm shirtless.
total.
So that's proficient.
17.
I don't add anything, right?
1 to 2.
Yeah.
You just added the +2. If it's proficient, you always add the number.
Oh, okay.
But the proficient just makes it so that the this number gets added to one of these. So it calculates it automatically for you. So stuff rolls.
Oof. Okay. 8.
An 11 from me.
Mm,
I
well,
was muttering a prayer.
Okay.
Is this a group check or is this individual checks?
The group check.
24, 17. What?
22.
22. Okay, 1 success. What was yours, John?
17.
17. Alright, that's like 2 successes.
Wasn't Pete's 24?
Noel got a 24.
Yeah, Noel's 24.
Okay, that's 3.
Yeah,
Okay, good job, guys.
Good job.
Thank you for
Thankfully.
balancing us out.
I think not Noel, excuse me. Aloran probably still has her sea legs, probably hasn't fully acclimated to being back on land. You know, she's been out to sea for a while. And the things to look out for when you're walking, trying to be sneaky, are very, very different.
If I see a Lauren struggling, I'll help her.
Yeah, Noel, you're pretty used to moving around like this, and you're definitely able to help your new buddy out. And yeah, you guys just kind of slowly make your way up to the kind of the edge of this lighthouse property. So there's definitely a path off the road, and it doesn't go super far. It's maybe like 100 feet to the edge of this property. There is the remains of like a low stone wall that's crumbled and overgrown with moss and ivy. And beyond it, you can see kind of the collapsed remains of what looks like a stone shed, an old stable, kind of old support buildings that used to be around here. The only thing really still standing and intact is the lighthouse at the other end of the property. The door is hanging open. It's really not even like on the hinges anymore. It's just kind of leaning against the door frame. Again, totally overgrown with ivy. You can see ivy trellises kind of running up the side of this tower. And as you saw at a distance, kind of one side of one of the upper stories, probably like 4 or 5 stories up, has kind of sheared off and collapsed inside into itself. So it doesn't look like there's even a way to reach the very top anymore. But in theory, the interior looks pretty sound. The lower levels are all still standing, the walls intact.
Is this lighthouse like on the near a cliff or like because we're pretty high up right now?
Hold up. What was it, Charlie?
I read this like very sketchy.
Sketchy. Bad vibe? I mean, you can give me a perception check. Pete, what was it?
I was just asking if this lighthouse is on a cliff because we're fairly high up, or is this like in its own kind of like patch in from the shore? Or
it's sort of it's not like right on the cliff edge, but it is on the cliffward side of the road. The lighthouse looks like it's probably another 50 feet back from the cliff.
And the cliff is like 300 feet, you said?
Yeah, you guys are probably about 300 feet up from the water.
Okay.
18 on perception? Okay. I mean, looking around, you don't see any movement. You don't see any creatures, any sign of recent traffic. You would see, and probably put together, like the path leading up to this place is pretty well cleared. So it does look like creatures come and go from this place. And kind of looking down at the ground, you would see, traces of old boot print in the mud, like dried and crusted. The occasional like wagon rut from wheels that have been pulled up here. It strikes you that this place has probably been used as shelter by a number of travelers. but at the moment, you don't see any sign that anybody's here.
And it's almost
Y'all are
sunset.
It is sunset, yeah. The sky is turning that pinky orange. Clouds overhead are still kind of drizzling rain on you. Starting to cool off.
Well, given that John indicated there weren't any like blatant threats on this road, I'm just gonna go up to the lighthouse and kind of give the door, even though it's not in the frame, just kind of like.
So you just okay.
Hello?
Stepping up to the door, poking your head inside, calling out. No response.
And
you see
any like wildlife, like birds in here?
Or... No, you don't see any animal life in here. What you do see is a wide round room. You can see a staircase at the far end of the room that looks like it wraps up to the second story and then down to a possible basement. You see lots of moss growing in the cracks in the floor. Dirt has been tracked in. You can see the remains of wooden furniture that have long since rotted into just piles of lumber that have just kind of been pushed to not the corners, but the round room, the edges of the room, right, to clear the central area.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see in the center of the room there is a fire pit that has been put together. This makeshift. Loose stones have kind of been thrown in a pile. There's this old gray ash and like the remains of these long since burned to a crisp logs, just kind of sitting there in the middle of the room. Definitely looks like a campsite.
All right, I'm going to stealth up the stairs as far as I can get, and I'll try to be careful to make sure I don't like fall through any old planks or something.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth check then, as Noelle has approached this building ahead of you guys and is now kind of slowly tiptoeing inside.
I'm gonna find some firewood to get the fire going here.
Okay, yeah, you want to follow her?
I'm not gonna go upstairs.
Okay, so stealth check from you too?
Yeah.
Alright.
Still having a hard time hearing you, Lauren. 16
Yes.
Total.
I'm going to the basement.
So, 16 you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you make your way to the stairs. Stone stairs, they are old and worn, but still pretty stable. You just kind of quietly pad your way up to the second floor. You find a landing, kind of a narrow landing. There's a staircase ahead of you that looks like it goes up to another floor, and a door on your right side that is standing slightly ajar.
Peek inside.
Looks like a bedroom, or what was once a bedroom. There is a rotten old bed frame surrounding what is essentially a pile of dust and scraps of fabric. It's collapsed and rotten away. There's like a nightstand. The drawer's been pulled out, off the corners of the room. One leg's collapsed in the back. It's starting to kind of buckle in on itself just from age and humidity. This place looks like it's been tossed and hasn't been touched since
Okay.
a while ago.
My goal here is just to see how high I can actually get before things start becoming dangerous.
Okay. Moving up to the third floor then, writing that stealth check, you find a landing that opens into a hallway with two doors on either side, or two archways, I should say. One, there is another open door. The other one, however, the ceiling has partially collapsed in front of it, blocking that doorway.
Okay. Are there any windows on any of these landings?
Yeah, there's small little like porthole windows.
Okay. And you said there's a staircase going up further than this?
Yeah, there's another staircase ahead of you that looks to be intact. You can keep going.
Yeah, I'll keep going.
Okay. So climbing up here, you find yourself on the 4th floor now. And here, you feel this gust of wind as the wall ahead of you has collapsed inward. This was the collapsed segment of the tower that you guys saw at a distance. The stairs have been destroyed. You can see the portion of the wall that is still standing. There's enough of it to hold up a segment of the 5th floor, which looks like it was the tower's top. You can see sort of the large brazier where presumably the signal fires would have been set for this lighthouse's operation, still standing in the center of that floor up above you. But beyond that, there does not seem to be a way up unless you want to start climbing.
Does the collapsed wall face the ocean or the land?
It faces south.
So you can see both.
Yeah, you can see the ocean on your left and the land on the right.
Okay, I'm going to...
I mean, you were able to see this gap at distance. So.
All right, I will just yell down, I think we're clear.
Okay.
And then I will sit down cross-legged, making sure to avoid any rusty nails that might be sticking up.
Not a ton of exposed nails as far as you can see. A lot of this seems to be stonework.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of wood on the furniture.
And I was just going to say that I'll just do some writing for a little bit. Open my journal.
You feel confident, clear, safe, sit down, start chilling. But Lauren, you had rolled a 8. Oof. So you start making your way downstairs from the 1st floor. And immediately your foot slides out from under you on like a wet patch of moss, and you just kind of come down with on your ass. Gives you a nice dark bruise that starts forming like immediately, and it's like, slap your hand over your mouth, but don't hear any change up ahead. So kind of slide your way down the stairs, trying to stay off of your newly bruised leg, and what you find is that some of the ceiling that kind of builds up over you as you kind of enter this tunnel has collapsed in front of the passage and then kind of blocked it off. So the basement is blocked by a large pile of rubble, much the same way that one room on the 3rd floor is.
I guess I'll let them know that there's nothing in the basement and head back upstairs. Or the basement's like blocked off. I'll let y'all know that the basement is blocked off and there's a pile of rubble by the door.
There we go.
Did something happen? You seem to be limping.
I slipped on some moss.
Oh, that sounds absolutely dreadful. Would you like me to fix it for you?
That would be amazing. Yes.
Take a look at that basement.
So I feel like he'd like... You guys know the awkward shoulder pat?
Sure.
Yeah.
Burberry does the awkward shoulder pat and casts Cure Wounds.
Oh. Well, you didn't lose any hit points, but the bruise feels a lot better.
Yay. Thank you, Burberry.
And it starts clearing up. Oh, Burberry, that was sweet.
I appreciate it.
Anytime you seem, how does that saying go? You seem a bit of fish out of water right now. I don't mean it as a jab. It's just the saying.
No, that's quite understandable. I'm not quite used to land. I've been out at sea for a very long time.
You're taking it quite well, yes.
I wish I was taking it better.
I'm sure most people do. wish to be taking that better. Not that you were doing it, but I need to stop talking.
I'd like to hit up what she said anyways.
I have been informed that I should shut up. Yes.
I think John is going to go ahead and take a look at that blocked entrance to the underground basement.
Okay. Sure.
And see if there's any way that he might be able to open up any kind of entrance.
It doesn't look like it's completely like immovable. Like if you wanted to start heaving rocks, you probably could clear the way down.
I'd like to try that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a little fish person.
Go ahead and give me a strength check then.
Okey-dokey.
Kitty boy. Dragon all day.
So with my +4, I got a 19.
19? Okay. You don't have any trouble really kind of shifting any of these stones aside. None of them are much bigger than like maybe a foot across in any dimension. They are perfectly manageable. And you just start kind of trudging away at this, just heaving the side one after another, just slowly working your way through this pile of rubble. Let me check something real quick.
The entire lighthouse collapses.
Noelle, suddenly the ground begins to tremble under your feet.
Oh god.
You carry everybody now.
You take
God.
10d6 falling
I was gonna say,
damage.
I'm pretty sure that fall damage would literally just kill me at this level, so that's good.
You fell for my first crack. No, John, you've got what, a +4 in perception?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not bad, passive.
Passive 14.
Yeah, I would say as you get closer to kind of reaching the actual door, you start to hear another sound. This like scratching sound.
I'm immediately going back up the stairs.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell the others I uncovered the basement, and there's some weird ass noises coming from behind the door.
We probably should see what it is, because we don't want to go to bed with something that could potentially come out at night and trap.
I ain't gonna
Oh,
sleep
I-
with no spook down there. Let's go see what it is.
Yeah.
I agree. I just didn't want to do it alone.
Honestly, I think that I would rather just take all of this rubble and stack it on top of the door.
So we got one.
So one to reseal the chamber and 3 to go check it out.
Yup.
All right. Noelle, you're just writing away on the top floor.
Yeah, I'm just like looking at the sunset, like, oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, I'll go up. I'll holler up to Noel. I'll be like, Noel, something interesting.
Oh, may Bojlig have mercy.
All right, I'll be down in a minute.
You come down and the whole chamber's collapsed on everyone.
Oh, that is interesting.
All right, so you guys all head down the stairs. It's not a super wide stairwell. I'd say at the most you could fit like 2 people side by side. So-
I'm gonna stay at the top of the stairs. That seems safer for me.
Yeah, I think me and Burberry will take the rear.
I'll be in the middle because I'm.
Okay. So
John
John,
ahead.
Barnaby.
Yeah, I think John and Barnaby will.
We got our
take
first
somebody
fusion.
else.
Yeah.
Loading up my crossbow.
So John, you lead them down there, and Barnaby standing in front of the door. You can also hear this faint.
Can we like prepare spells?
So you want to like ready an attack if you see something?
Yeah, I want to ready.
I'm also while Aloran heads down, I'm just gonna like awkward patter in passing. I'm gonna give you resistance, Aloran.
Thank you.
So if you need to make a saving throw at any point, you can add a D4 to your roll.
Sick. All right. So entangle is 20-foot square at a
As I worry.
Creature in the area when you cast a spell, 16 strength save. Got it. Okay. So Aloran is ready to cast a spell if something happens. Noel, are you readying anything?
So just refresh my memory. So how does the layout of this bottom floor work? Like, we
So you
spiral
guys are
down
all-
a staircase going along the wall, I assume.
Yeah, you are in the stairwell, basically. It's along the wall, and it's just wide enough for two people to stand side by
And
side.
the rocks are blocking the stairwell itself.
At the base of the stairwell, at the very bottom, yeah, it was probably like a 2 or 3 foot layer of rock piled up against the wall and the door at the bottom of the stairs. John has shifted a lot of this rock to the side, so the door, like the top of the door, is partially exposed at this point.
I have a question about this rubble. Did it look like it fell from the ceiling, or was it purposely placed there?
Good question. Give me a perception check.
Ooh.
Making it real shifty right now.
That's my job.
Right.
14 on perception. Looking around, it looks like it collapsed. You can see segments of the wall and the ceiling that are very uneven. In the wall especially, there's like exposed dirt, both on the left and the right side. Aw, cute kitty. Where the rocks fell inwards. It just looks like it collapsed from age.
To answer your question, Flood, I'm gonna definitely be like in the back, like probably like two steps behind Burberry.
That's fair. So just watching.
Yep.
Okay. So John, Barnaby, you guys are up front. There's a little bit more rubble to clear if you want to get to the door.
Is there like a side position that it's because Barnaby, you said you're readying a crossbow, right?
I was loading up a crossbow as we went down.
So we need you to be off slightly to the side just in case.
More than likely.
I'm trying to just get a grasp of like the layout. Like, is there room to put it to the side? Are we just in like the stairwell, or is there like a landing?
Barnaby, I'm gonna cast resistance on you.
Thank you,
Pass it
kindly.
down. Pass it on.
Are we just getting a resistance chain?
It's the gift that
Yeah.
keeps on giving.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the stairwell is only like 5 feet, or is it more than that?
It's I'd say it's probably closer to like 8 feet, but like if you squeeze, you can stand side by side.
That's what I was asking.
There's not room. There's no like room in the landing. And honestly, the way you've been clearing to get down to this door, you've probably had to just kind of push rocks back behind you, and you're like standing on some of the rubble. So there's really not like a ton of room. If you want to keep digging, you can get down to the door.
I'll keep shifting rocks to get down to the door, I guess.
Like clearing the area.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Aloran's going to start passing rocks up the stairs. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Yeah, I will use the help action.
Okay, so you'll have advantage on this actually, Aloran, because Barnaby is going to help you. It's one of the tabs, the front tab. There you go. So strength plus.
Oh, just like regular street.
Mm-hmm. 13. Roll it again, because Barnaby's going to give you advantage with the help action.
Say some jibbing. I
21!
can't
Ooh!
can do just about anything.
Yeah, okay, so Barnaby and Aloran working together, you guys are able to get a lot of the rocks out of the stairwell and start getting them out into the main room, just out of the way, so that you guys have better footing down there. Have not
Damn.
cleared the door out yet.
Just keep an eye on the door.
Scratching.
Barnaby and his family.
And family, yes.
John's just keeping an eye on the door.
Okay. Yeah, John, you continue to hear this scratching sound.
Does it sound like it's getting louder or the same?
It's Still the same. There are periods where it sounds like it gets a little more frantic, and then it kind of calms down, and just kind of continues at an even pace.
Can we see if it'll answer to us as we talk? If it like reacts to sound?
You want to?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I know. Part of me wants to go here, kitty kitty. But it's probably not a cat.
You can still say it.
Okay, I'll go here, kitty kitty.
To the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Lauren, Barnaby, and John. Since you guys are down there.
Also, just tossing this out there, just so I can do something useful, I'm going to just keep an eye on the stairs behind us, just to make sure nobody's coming in or following or whatever.
Sure.
I got a 19.
23, 19. John, what'd you get?
Oh wait, what am I doing?
Perception check. As Lauren calls out to the door.
23.
20. Okay. Immediately, you all hear this very muffled sound.
That doesn't sound like a cat.
That's not a cat.
Avalon says that is not a cat down there.
And that sound now joins the scratching at the door. There's this constant.
Would John recognize it from his time in the forest?
You could try a history check, sure.
Okay. Doesn't matter because my nature's also zeros.
History or nature, sure.
Either way, it's a 10.
10. Does not sound like anything you've encountered. Doesn't sound like an animal, I'll tell you that.
Oh god, please don't be a human.
Should we reevaluate our game plan? Unlocking these creatures from this door.
I don't think that's the thing we want to be sleeping around, just saying.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Rather find out if we need to leave this thing now or if we can kill it.
Foul demon, reveal thyself.
You hear up as something smacks the door.
Well, it's trying to.
Hey, Burberry, you might need to like pray at this thing. It seems like it might be like demonic or something.
There's another as something hits the door.
What are you asking me to do?
I don't know. Do you have like a demonic exorcism ritual or something?
I got a ritual. It's called stab whatever moves beyond that door. And I'm
Give me your Bible so I can smack it with your Bible.
2 more blows against the door. You see some rock start to kind of tumble down from against it.
I want to.
Lauren,
Your Bible and smack it a couple times.
Because I know this door's gonna open.
Mm-mm.
Can I cast like entangle? Because they're all like right at the door, so I can try to keep them there.
Yeah.
So we can see what we're up against.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
I think John wants to get in his ready stance with his pole.
Okay.
Wants to charge the door.
Barnaby wants to charge the door?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to do, Barnaby, then? The door is being beaten on from the other side, it seems like.
And I will time it. I will time it to the point where it looks like they're just about to bash it, and then bash it.
Will Barnaby get entangled with the creatures?
So, it's a point with you, and then from that point, it's a 20-foot radius that creates this entangling effect. So you need to aim at a point that is more than 20 feet from Barnaby, but not more than 20 feet from those creatures.
Do you have to see the point?
As long as she can see past the creatures into the room, you could theoretically do this.
You have dark vision?
Yeah. So that'll help.
Can I warn Barnaby that I'm planning on casting Entangle to trap the creatures that are there? Just in case. Hey,
Be
Barnaby.
careful, then.
I'm gonna cast Entangle, and I don't want you to get tangled up, bud.
Well, thank you.
All right. So you still want to charge the door, Barnaby?
I think if she's going to do that, I best wait.
Okay, so kind of back off, crossbow at the ready. John, you got halberd at the ready. Aloran has entangle in the barrel. And again, something smashes into the door, more rocks tumble down. And again, and again, and more rocks are beginning to get kind of jostled free since you guys have cleared so much out. And you see the door begin to slide, pushing against the stones pulled at its feet.
Can I prep an attack for anything that comes within range?
Yeah. You and Barnaby are both at the ready with weapons drawn, and Lauren has entangled ready for the door opens. And a second later, there is a resounding crash as this ghastly white claw smashes through the door, pushing it like half off its hinges, forcing it to kind of buckle against the wall. It just flies open, and this pale, gaunt, humanoid figure lunges forward. So, now we are going to roll initiative.
First one.
Woo! Combat!
17.
I feel like Burberry just kind of leans over to Noelle and just says,
Is it too late to run away?
I think it is now.
That's an 11 for Noelle.
11 for Noelle.
I got 17.
Bonus, yes. 17 for John.
22 for Burberry.
22 for Burberry.
Jasper got an 18.
18 for Barnaby. 16 for Lauren. I
Oh,
got.
Jasper did.
Oh, shut up. I'm gonna fight you in a second.
Literally.
All right. So that is that thing got good initiative. So that's gonna be a 1, 2, and and a. Probably should have had this up earlier, but we were talking. So there is a surprise round since you guys were at the ready here. So as this thing lunges forward, Aloran is casting Entangle, and the two of you are making attacks. So Aloran, you cast Entangle, and these things need to make a saving throw here. So with the door flying open, I will say that you can see past them into the room. Standing up a little higher, it is not like the entire room because of the angle, but it is far enough back that you can center this to try and like snare this thing before it grabs them. Okay. So he is going to make a strength saving throw, it looks like, against your spell save DC. So your spell save is at the bottom of that first sheet there. And that is like the potency of your magic spells. It's like how hard it is to resist them. So keep going. There it is. So what is that number of the spell save? 13. All right, and it's a strength save. So he's not terrible, but he fails. So this first creature that is lunging out, as he reaches for John and Barnaby with claws outstretched, all of a sudden, these vines shoot out of the room behind it and grab hold of it, kind of holding it in place. So that creature is currently restrained, which is not good for him. A restrained creature cannot move, and attacks against it have advantage. So Barnaby and John, both of you get to make attacks against this thing with advantage.
You want to go first?
Sure. Eat him, Jasper. And I'm going to roll a hit with my light crossbow.
All right, go ahead.
as Jasper pulls the trigger since he's the finger on the gun. That is a 20 to hit.
20 definitely hits.
All
So
right.
go ahead and give me a damage roll.
That is a 10 piercing damage.
Oof. Okay. 10 damage as you let loose a crossbow bolt that smacks this thing directly in the shoulder, and it just. John, what was your attack?
With advantage, I got a natural 20.
Ooh, okay, so that's crit.
Which activates my savage critical too.
Ooh, shit, yeah. Okay. Go for it, guy.
Okay, so but I'm not raging, so I don't get the extra rage bonus. Okay, so that is a 1. Oh, to hit. Oh, right, that was only 20. Sorry.
Or no, you already rolled a hit, so give me your damage.
Yeah. So it's 1d10 plus 6.
Well, it's 2d10 now.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit.
If you critted Holmes.
Wait, is that including the savage critical?
Is savage another dice?
When you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you can roll one of the weapon's damage dice an additional time and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit.
So that's 3d10 plus your strength.
Damn.
This thing's bad.
John's just like.
So that's a 5, a 7, and a 6, plus
12,
6.
18.
Or wait, is it just plus my strength or plus my strength and
Just strength.
Just strength, so plus 4.
Okay, so
that'd be 10, 17, and plus 5. So it'd be or 15 plus 7, so 22.
Okay. So, fun fact, this thing is very dead now. Aloran wraps the thing in vines. Barnaby lets loose an arrow that kind of stops it even further in its tracks, and John just fucking jabs that glaive right at the neck, and the whole head just fucking pops off. It like snaps almost, and just falls to the ground at your feet with one last exasperated. And that fucking kills it.
And turns around. That was terrifying.
And as you say that, another creature lunges out of the dark. So, top of the order here. The dead creature rolled in that 20, but he's dead now, so he gets nothing. Burglary, you got a 22, so you were first.
I will grant Barnaby the Shield of Faith.
Okay, Barnaby gets a Shield of Faith.
Just a moment, and I will tell you, because I know that it helps with a AC buff, but
yeah, it's 2 AC.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, did the other creature have to make the entangling save too? Because it was in the basement or is in the stairwell?
It did. I already made those saves. That creature succeeded.
Okay.
Very deep.
May Sturk be with you.
But y'all one-shot that first one, so... I was worried this was a deadly encounter. Y'all are fine.
It wouldn't have been that bad. It wouldn't have been that bad, but since I got advantage, my 15 original roll turned into a 20.
Yeah, no, y'all are fine. So, Barnaby has +2 to his AC now. Burberry, are you moving at all, or are you going to stay where you are at the top of the stairs?
I'm still at the top of the stairs. I'm gonna stay up there. Thanks.
All right, so end of turn. The creature is dead, so that brings us to Barnaby. Barnaby, it is your turn. There is another creature coming out of the stairs towards you. Similar to the first one, pale white skin, claws, gaunt, pained expression on its face, sharp teeth.
I'll treat him the same way I did the other one.
All right.
Shoot a shoot a bolt at it.
All right. Go ahead and roll to hit.
That is going to be a 24.
24 hits. Give me some damage.
Yes. That is a 7. And
Damage.
as a bonus action, I'm going to use Fey Gift. I can use this trait to take the health action as a bonus action.
Oh.
A number of time equal to my proficiency bonus, and I'm going to give John over here some advantage.
Okay, so this thing is not next to you. In order to use the help to give people advantage on attacks, you need to be next to the creature that they're targeting. So if you want to walk up to it, you can do that. But this thing is about 10 feet from you because it was behind the other creature.
I just got a fancy old shield, so I'm fine with doing that.
Okay, so you just kind of walk up to this thing and you're like, I'm going to pin it. You fucking stab it. And
have I ever told you, Mr. Spears, about my family? This one's Jasper, this one's Evelyn.
Oh, God.
Just trying his best to distract him.
You feel a chill run down your spine, Barnaby.
Anyways, this is
God
this
is getting
Skeeter.
annoyed with you.
He's a real nice folk. Didn't ever do nothing.
Whose turn is it?
It is John's turn now.
Okay. John,
Okay.
having turned around and said that was scary, now find out there's something behind him, and now he's mad.
Yeah.
He's gonna rage.
Okay. So John is raging.
And he's gonna whip around and smack the shit out of this thing with his glaive.
You get advantage.
So, oh God, you have a glaive. That's right. So you have 10 feet reach, right? Fuck. Yeah, you can hit it, definitely. Because Barnaby basically ran in front of you and is like holding it in the doorway, and you're just kind of like stabbing down at it over his shoulder at this point. So, yeah,
The
go ahead. You
first
hit it.
roll's 11. Second roll is it's a natural 20 again.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I am
All
not.
right.
I'm completely serious.
All right.
What is going on right now?
Note to self: give John advantage.
That's what I started thinking. Health action is pretty nice.
Does that proc Savage Attacker then?
Yeah,
It's every time you crit.
every time I crit.
Oh my God. So 3d10.
Let me reread it through just to make sure. When you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you can roll one of the weapons damage at additional time. Yeah, that's it. Just
Oh my God. All right.
every
yeah.
time I crit.
That's fine.
First
Roll
roll's
it.
a 7, second roll's a 10, third roll's a 10, plus 5 or 4,
Jesus Christ,
So
it's like
that's
32 damage.
31 damage.
And again, you just drive this glaive through the thing's chest and into the ground.
Wait, no, that's 33 damage because my rage damage.
Yeah, it like shears this creature's torso in half. It just kind of splits down the middle, and very like weakly, just kind of like gently swipes at Barnaby's ankle before just falling completely still, just like. Eh.
It's like the first time I've ever been like straight front line, just beating the shit out of stuff. It's hilarious.
So this thing is fucking dead after taking 32. All my monsters are dead.
People keep giving me advantage and I keep getting critical.
So Aloran, you just watched this beatdown take place. The hallway ahead of you is clogged. What do you want to do with your turn?
Can I move down and see if there's anything else in the room?
Yeah, give me. Yeah, you don't need a perception check, but you can definitely like get up behind Barnaby next to John and look inside. As these two creatures were kind of pounding at the door, you do actually see a third creature inside, a smaller humanoid figure that is kind of scurrying up towards the doorway. Yeah, you got your turn.
Okay, can I cast Thorn Whip?
Thorn Whip. Okay, yeah, sure. Give me, what does Thorn Whip do here? Usually we just have to Google this. So, Thorn Whip. Long vine vine-like whip covered in thorns lashes out at your command. Okay, so I need you to make a spell attack for me. There is a bonus down by your save DC called spell attack bonus, and you're going to add that to the D20 roll.
$11.
11 plus. Oh, 11 total. Oh, okay. That might. Oh my god, that hits. God damn it. Alright, so you deal 1d6 piercing damage. And if the creature is large or smaller, you pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you. So you can pull it up to you if you want. It's the D10, so it's going to be like a 4-sided diamond space.
Imagining like little tiny Lauren yanking this thing towards her.
Nature's force.
Beautiful.
Or wait, no, it's a D6. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The 6-sided dice. Sorry, I thought it was D10. Tripping. The square one.
This one?
Yes.
The normal dice.
I don't know why. Oh no, it was the 10 feet. But I was like, oh, D10, duh. 1 damage. This creature lives through the round.
I pulled it smaller.
This is actually a small creature, yes. So you can pull it.
I'll pull it so that they can get.
Okay, so are you gonna pull this thing to you, or do you want to pull this thing up against Barnaby? Because Barnaby
Barnaby
is
got a
standing in front of
shield.
you.
I got a whole shield, right? And I gave him resistance.
True.
So I'm gonna pull it up to Barnaby so hopefully they can do the same wombo combo against it.
All right, so you just basically pull this thing about 5 feet from where it was standing up against Barnaby. It just kind of like bangs against the shield and hits the ground like, and scrambles to get back on its feet. Do you want to move at the end of your turn, or do you want to stay where you are? So you were standing at the bottom of the stairwell next to John, behind Barnaby, and the creature's in front of Barnaby. So you could back up if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll back.
Okay, so pulling back up the stairs. That'll bring us to Noel. It is your turn.
Oh shit, there's still a creature alive, and it's my turn.
Yeah, you hear more scuffling down there as John just like bisects one creature.
I will. Let's see. I think I'm just going to. I'm gonna give. I guess to go with the theme here, I'm gonna give John inspiration.
Hey, all right.
I will just. I will read John the poem that I was just working on upstairs.
Is this bardic inspiration or is this your regular inspiration?
Oh, sorry, bardic inspiration.
Okay, so that's a D6 to John.
Yes, so
that you
John,
can-
for the next minute, you have a D6 you can add to any roll you want.
What's the poem about?
The merging of land and sea across the beautiful sunset.
Aw.
Of
John,
the beach.
beautiful poem that was just composed, and staring at this disgusting, rotting, tiny creature scrambling at Barnaby's shield, you feel inspired. Meanwhile, this rotten little creature is going to grab a hold of your leg, Barnaby, and just try to sink its teeth into you. So with a he just chomps down with a 6.
Nope.
And his tiny teeth do nothing to puncture your boots. You just feel this slight pressure on your ankle as it's just like...
Oh, the cramp could pinch harder than that.
And that will be the end of the round. So, Burberry, top of the order, it is your turn.
No. How's this creature looking, you think?
You can barely see what's happening from where you're standing. John and Aloran are behind Barnaby, who's standing in the doorway. Barnaby's got a shield out in front of him, but you can also see he's like kind of shifting up and down, like shaking his leg. Hard to say what's happening.
All right. Well, then I will cast Guiding Bolt against the critter.
I'm gonna need you to get closer.
No, it's 120 feet.
I know, but you can't see it. It's small. It's like waist high, and it's just kind of clamped down on Barnaby's ankle. Like from where you're standing, it's totally obscured by John and Lauren.
Fine.
Move. Be slightly more vulnerable. Thank you. All right. So moving down the stairs. You can kind of peek over their shoulders, like just kind of like shouldering in and looking down, and you see Barnaby like shaking this thing that's like lashed onto his ankle, just kind of flinging it around the floor, making this awful like sound as it wraps around. So you just kind of like reach a hand over and just I'm just gonna get in here. Guiding bolt.
Well, can I put in flavor stuff?
Yeah.
So, I feel like in this scenario, since he's got a shield of faith on him, I feel like Barnaby's leg like actually like spikes out real hard.
Oh, okay.
It's attacked through a magic and like stabs the face.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll a. I think it's an attack for guiding bolt.
It was I rolled a nat 20.
Okay. You crit too, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's a spell. Can I crit with spells? Is that
Yeah, no, it's an attack roll, so you can crit on it. So that's gonna
Damn,
deal.
that's gonna do a lot of damage.
But it's just first fight luck.
8d6 radiant damage.
I'm so sorry.
It's just first fight luck.
Bolt.
Holy shit.
8d6.
Yeah.
1d6 for each of your gods.
It could live. You don't know. She could roll once.
Guiding bolt is definitely one of the best ones to crit on.
Okay. 20, 29?
20? Yeah, so this this spell of yours, the shield around Barnaby, you say, kind of flares, and these like spikes of holy energy kind of like jet out through the creature, just kind of like puncturing it like a pincushion. And within seconds, you hear this death rattle, this as it slumps to the ground, dead. You did it! Yeah, you guys are.
Immediately retreat back up the stairs.
You killed all of the creatures, and it's quiet now in the basement.
I want to find my crossbow bolts.
Good job, everybody. Give everyone a pat on the back. That's next to me.
Yeah.
I feel
I'll just
inclined.
go to the ginormous guys next to me and be like, "Good job." Pat them on their like lower back because I can't reach their shoulders.
You kind of grazed John's butt.
Yeah. No, I don't grace your butt, John.
Good
Sounds like
job.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Good job, boys. Grabs ass.
Walks away.
Yes, another victory for Bojlig.
Not to be the bearer of bad news, but I do feel compelled to mention there was another door on the third floor that was blocked off.
Might as well check it.
We might want to now.
Should probably check this room first, just to make sure, and then we'll go check that one.
Let's give it a good look over.
Okay. So you guys want to step inside, roll a perception check. Whoever wants to look at the basement.
I'm going to go upstairs and start getting a fire set up in that camp or in the pit.
Okay.
I got him. 7.
7. Good job.
I got a 24.
24.
Lauren sees all.
Much good.
I got a 15.
15. Good. All right. So Aloran and Barnaby give this place a much more thorough once over than John. John, you kind of step in, you look around, and you're like, "No more monsters. We're good," and walk away. But lingering, the two of you see this place. It's kind of a waterlogged chamber. It looks like rainwater has just kind of slowly been pooling down here. Not super high. There's probably either absorption happening or drainage through one of the walls, whatever. But you can see there are these 3 corpses floating in the very shallow water. There are broken crates and rotten sacks floating in the water.
Can I rummage through and see if I can find loot?
Well, so with your 24, I was going to say, looking around, like kind of getting a hand into some of those crates, you just kind of get a handful of mold. This looks like it was probably like an old cellar, old root cellar, right? Has not been tended to in a very, very long time.
Can I just make like a really disgusting like noise? I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, just like wash your hands.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. However, you do find on the far side of the room, kind of obscured by one of the crates. John totally missed this, but you guys pick up on it as you're looking around. There is a fourth figure in the room, a motionless skeleton that is kind of wrapped up in these tattered black robes, is floating in the water.
Is it alive?
It's not moving.
Okay, but that's not alive or dead. So can I roll a perception to see if that?
You got a good perception check, and what you see right now is a motionless skeleton. Do you want to go interact with it? Because right now you're just standing looking at it. That's your perception.
I got Barnaby with me, so
Yeah,
fuck it.
All right, what do you do?
Stick.
I have my sword. Someone draw my sword.
Okay.
Poke it.
All right. And it just kind of drifts up against the wall. No movement, no reaction.
Okay, then I'm gonna search it.
Okay. So, all right, dead skeleton. Toss the body. Let's see what's happening. And with that 24 perception check, I will say that you do actually find this thing has a number of items on it.
No.
It has. You will actually probably want to make a note of it, maybe. It has in one of its pockets a handful of 7 silver coins. So you can put that in the wallet.
19.
So you can add 7 to that. You also find, kind of clutched in its hand, half of what looks like a broken magic wand. Very old and rotten and mildewy. And you also find, floating in the water next to it, a very, very, very waterlogged, heavy leather-bound book.
Waterlogged, heavy-bound book.
Yeah, just like a waterlogged book. Currently closed, just kind of floating there.
Okay, I will take it off.
All right. So Lauren takes the broken wand, the soggy book, and the coins.
Yes.
So, having found those, Noelle has started a fire on the first floor, and you guys wanted to investigate the third floor. Okay. So, heading up there, you find there are 2 bedrooms in a hallway leading off the landing. One of the bedrooms is open. Looks like it has long since been tossed and abandoned. Rotten furniture. Totally uninteresting in there. The other bedroom is... Ooh, what's that? Oh. The other bedroom is covered by a similar wall of rubble. Dang it.
We lost a Lauren.
No, she's okay. She's here, but the fucking music bot pooped out on me.
Sorry. I'll open it back up.
Nah, dang it.
Well, she ain't here in Discord.
He's here. He's here.
Coming back. I'm sorry.
We're not used to people being in the same place. Usually when someone drops out, they're just gone.
Thank you.
All right. So, you guys want to start clearing the rubble from this first door?
I'll stand like...
John will go ahead.
Yeah, I think at least John and Noelle will be up there. I don't know who else is coming.
Okay.
John will start clearing the rubble.
Yeah, I'll head up there.
Okay.
But I'll be there probably later.
Okay. So whoever is up there first, go ahead and give me strength checks to start clearing rubble.
I will help John.
All right, John, you have advantage.
My first roll was a 15, so second roll was a 1, so I'm going with the 15, so 19.
19 total? Easy enough,
Yep.
John. Same as before, not a lot of difficulty clearing these pretty manageable bricks that have collapsed and broken in front of this door. And
After a few moments, you hear, "Oh, come on!" from downstairs.
Okay.
I don't know what that's about.
At any rate, John, the door is clear enough for you to reach the handle. You want to open it?
Can I listen in first?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until more people get up here and we listen
Give
to
me
see
a
if anything's in
perception
there.
check, whoever's listening.
Terrible. 9.
6.
9. You don't hear anything.
John got 6.
You don't hear anything. Quiet room.
I think John's just gonna guard the door until more people come up.
Yeah, I'll go down. I'll go walk over to like the stairwell, and they'll just yell down, "Beverly, are you okay?"
Yes, fine, sorry. I stubbed my toe.
Oh, could we get other people up here? We have another door to look into.
Could I do a cure wounds on Burberry for their stuff?
We're gonna use all our cure wounds on sprained ankles and stuff toes.
Yeah, sure.
No,
So,
it's
Lauren,
alright.
you feel a hand on your
I'll walk
shoulder.
it off.
You feel a
Are you
hand on
sure
your
I
shoulder.
have cure wounds? I can make it go away.
It will be fine. It'll be fine.
I could step on your other foot, then you don't have to worry about your sprained leg.
Oh my god.
I can guarantee you won't be thinking about that sprain.
You know,
Your finger.
That
My-
sounds really aggressive.
my father said the same thing. It's not really the best. No.
Alright, see what you said.
So the party will congregate in front of this third floor bedroom.
Finally.
You hear nothing. It's quiet.
And I go, here, kitty, kitty again at the doorway.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I go, here, kitty, kitty at the doorway.
Alright. So here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Silence.
Silence. Well, guys, I think it's empty.
I just want to walk in.
Alright. So Barnaby opens the door.
Gets on the floor.
It's
The
bedroom.
dinos are.
You don't see any creatures in here. There is an old bed. The furniture is in slightly better condition than the rest of this tower, since it has been much more blocked off. The bed frame, the nightstands, the boudoir, they're all intact. The mattress has rotted away. It's just kind of a pile of dust and moldy dust in the middle of the room. But the wood's in okay condition. Doesn't look like it's been touched.
Perception check around the air room.
Perception.
What are you looking for?
Just anything out of the ordinary or something
Yeah.
sticks out.
Give me perception. Just kind of looking in from the doorway.
Finally, my perception is nice. 23.
23. Do you want to go like investigate?
Yeah, I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay. So Lauren gave me an investigation to kind of poke around and start opening shit. With a 23, you said?
Yeah, it's anything that sticks out.
Looking in the room from where you're standing, nothing jumps out at you. Looks like a pretty normal, if long abandoned and rotted away bedroom. An 8. Oof. Not great. I'll say you check the drawers, you check the armoire, and you don't see anything.
I'm gonna go back downstairs and go try to look at that. Try to dry that waterlogged book.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything with the bedroom?
I'm just glad there's not monsters in there. I'll just head back downstairs as well.
Okay.
Start getting something cooking.
Could I do a perception check on that skeleton in the black robes?
What are you wanting to learn about the skeleton?
See if it like association, like if it was part of the guild thing, or if like there was something on the robe that.
I'd say give me an investigation check on that skeleton. Since you're kind of turning it over and looking for stuff. Nat 20?
No,
Oh, +1. Okay, so dirty 20. You look over that robe. It is old. It is tattered. You do find there are some sizable slashes in the chest of the robe. Old bloodstains. You don't find any embroidery of any kind on it. It looks pretty shoddy, honestly. Like homemade. Doesn't look like a professionally created wizard robe of any kind like that. Very amateurish. I'd say you find like on like the chest, there's like a really like what's left of this really shitty stitching of like a 5-pointed star. It's like crooked, like one of the arms is too short. It's like a pentagram, like a really shitty looking pentagram stitched into the breast of this robe.
It's an edgelord.
Give me yeah. give me an Arcana check, I guess.
You said all this was in water?
Yeah, the basement is the floor is partially flooded. It's like ankle deep.
16.
16. So you're not like super up on arcane magic, but you know enough to know that this was probably some dark magic shit of some kinds.
Would you like assistance?
Burberry is standing at the bottom of the stairs.
Burberry, do you know anything about Arcana magic? Maybe.
Dabbled. I have dabbled, yes. Dabbled.
Looks like as somebody else previously stated, an edgelord was down here, and I found a bound book. It looks like it has a pentagram. The person who had it had a pentagram on their robe.
13?
And there was a broken wand.
13. I mean, Arcana is not necessarily what the Conclave is about, necessarily, specifically speaking, really, necessarily.
As I said, it was a side project.
It seems like some edgelord shit. Sure, yeah. Some dark magic happening, maybe. Doesn't look like he was very good at it. Pentagram sucks.
No offense to your edge lord, but I think his blade was quite dull.
That's fair.
Lord of Edge.
I was gonna say Burberry probably knows the actual Lord of Edge. Can I join just in the basement real quick? When I hear like people going down there, I'm just gonna head down there too. I want to look for something really specific. I want to look to see if there's any like holes or like little cave structures or something that these things might have crawled through to get into the basement.
Okay. Maybe an investigation. I'll leave it to your discretion, perception or investigation, because you could probably figure it out with either or.
Well, I'm gonna go with the one that I have a better bonus in, so I'll use perception. 16 total.
16. Yeah, looking around the room doesn't seem like there's any burrows necessarily. And I think you surmise that if there was, the water probably might have drained out of it. This chamber looks like it's pretty well sealed beyond the fact that water's been leaking into it slowly over time.
I think we're probably safe for the night then.
I shall begin setting up my tent.
Okay.
I'm gonna go like try and fit the door back in the slot or whatever at the front, but it's not gonna stay probably.
Would
you
like me to mend the hinges?
When I'm leaving the basement, is the doors like still kind of like there?
Yeah, it's like hanging off of one hinge.
Can I kind of like push it closed and put some rocks in front of it again?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just in case.
I would like to fix the hinge.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna do that.
Go for it.
I have mending.
Okay.
If the hinge is broken, I can fix it, yes?
So it's not necessarily that the hinge is like shattered or torn. It's been pulled out of the wall. the bolts that were holding it in place gave way, and it's just loose. The basement door. Yeah.
Two doors going on right now.
I don't know that mending is necessarily going to fix that.
If we could find all the pieces,
It depends. It depends on if the rock, like, stayed stuck to the bolt or not. I think.
No, the bolts just kind of ripped out of the door. Like it was just forced open, like just pushed, and the rock gave way.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to find all the pieces for that.
I will say, like looking at the bolts and the hinge, like they're rusty and corroded. Like they definitely look like they've worn down over time. They're not in great shape.
Also, as an aside, I found out that one of the materials for resistance is a miniature cloak, and I want to see the store that just sells miniature cloaks.
Oh, for the sake of that one spell.
Wouldn't that just be like a little square of fabric?
But you have to get like a drawstring to make a tiny hood.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Or the monkey.
That's the real reason that they sell so many Barbies. Is just the Barbies come with a little cloak, and they're like, "No, I need the cloak. I don't care about the
You're
doll."
buying all the Barbies, yeah. It's for the spell components, we swear.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, yeah, I don't think Minnie's gonna fix the hinge.
The thought was.
That's a
So I'll
good
just
thought.
kind of try to push the door closed and stack some rocks in front of it so it'll make a noise if something
That's fair.
goes through it again.
It's a good point.
So, yeah.
All right.
Do string.
Honestly, no. This isn't like a long, drawn-out process. You're not resealing the chamber. You can just like there's plenty of rocks in the stairwell you can pile up in front of the door. They will definitely make a nice shifting sound if they're jostled. So, not too hard to do.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do before calling it a night?
Soup's on.
Soup.
Could I
I made soup while they were doing their thing.
All right.
Out of some rations and some of the spices I brought.
Good boy.
What is this? The critters that we murdered. Are they edible?
Are they edible?
I ain't putting them in my soup. I don't know where that came
Doubt
from.
it.
Give me. Oh God, what check would this even be? Yeah, give me a survival check. What'd you get?
22.
Oh, 22. You cut out.
Sorry, I'm laughing, but I get too high pitched. My mic doesn't pick it up.
Yeah. So Burberry, the thought occurs to you, and you go to inspect them, and before you even get close enough to really like look at them, like just the smell of them is enough to tell you that eating these is a terrible idea. These things are rotten, like decayed, foul meat. You do not want this. It smells like death.
Enough. Fair enough.
You had something.
I was gonna, when everybody's around the campfire again, eating their rations, I'm gonna show the party what I found.
Okay.
In the cellar, the broken wand and the water fountain.
Okay. So Aloran pulls out this wand, remnant, and soggy book.
Can I see the
Did
book?
you open the book?
The book.
Yeah, so I'll give the book to Noelle to.
Look at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah.
I'll start looking through it.
Give me investigation or arcana, I'll say. One of the two.
They're both the same.
Cool.
13.
13. It takes a minute because this book is very old and it has been wet for a very long time and it is in dog shit condition.
I will hold it slightly close to the fire.
It does not help much. A lot of the ink has bled across the pages. Most of the writing that's at the end of the book is completely illegible, just from the damage.
Mm-hmm.
The higher, like the closer to the front of the book, the drier it is generally. So like the first few pages are the only things you're really able to get anything out of. It looks like a spell book, an old spell book, and not a very full one. It's probably only like 20, 25 pages worth of writing in it before you just hit blank. Blank pages. But you do see enough to kind of recognize that, oh, there's magic spells written in here.
What language is it written in?
This one is probably... Well, that's a good question, actually. What would that be written in?
Was the skeleton like... It was humanoid, I assume, not like... Or, well, was it like a dragonborn skeleton, a human skeleton, elf skeleton?
It was not a dragonborn skeleton. It was definitely a more humanoid-looking one.
Would an elvish skeleton and a human skeleton look different?
To someone who knew what they were looking at, yeah.
Elven one looks like more of a bitch.
And which one is that?
Okay, this would have been written in...
Making a joke about elves being spindly.
Oh.
What languages do you speak, Noel?
Common, Elvish, Draconic, Alien.
Okay.
Alien?
Alien?
Yeah.
Really?
Not like space aliens, like the city of
French
Alien.
Alien. There. Put the emphasis on the second syllable.
Yeah, the city of Alias, native language.
Alien.
Yeah. I'd say you don't recognize what this is written in.
But I can tell it's a spellbook.
It looks to you like a spellbook. There's like mathematical looking formulas and some crude like diagrams of magic circles. You do see a few pentagrams in some of the later pages. There's definitely like one page in there that looked like he was practicing pentagrams and like finally got one right down in the corner. Like all the arms are the right size proportion to each other.
Are there little notations that are like check marks, exclamation points, lots of circles?
Yeah.
There's a page of just the cool S.
Yeah.
I peek at the writing, see if it's written in Draconic, Primordial, or Druid.
Yo, I can pass the book around and say, I can't read this, but can anyone else?
Aloran, actually, you do recognize the language. It is Primordial. It is not written in your dialect, though. As a Triton, you would speak the Aquan dialect, right? This looks to be written in Ignean, which is the dialect of fire elementals. Not a very common tongue.
So I can't even like make out any.
No, you can read it, but there's like spelling is weird compared to how you would spell things. There's like an extra letter that you don't ever use in here, but you recognize that this is like an Ignean glyph. And some of the phrasing, there's some idioms in here that are kind of like, what the fuck is he trying to say with that? But you do recognize the language. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check as you are looking over this book again. I'll say with advantage because you've now got like 3 sets of eyes on it.
Well, I'm actually quite surprised. I didn't think anybody else in this party would speak Primordial.
Sound really old.
I rolled an 18.
18? I think that's enough for you to actually piece together a couple of spells in this book from the intact pages that are like still legible in their entirety. You see one page looks to be describing a spell called False Life, and another page contains a formula for a spell called Protection from Good and Evil. that is more or less the extent of the information you can get out of this book. Like I said, very old and very damaged. There's really only those 2 pages that are even remotely like functional and intact.
I have to admit, I never understood why would you want protection from good?
Maybe
In case you want to use them, the evil tap.
maybe someone
Nice.
thinks they're good, but they're really bad. Need protection from them.
Well,
Maybe if you ever done something so bad and you're mad that your god's gonna get mad at you, or if you're worried about your god's gonna get mad at you, maybe do that to protect their good from you.
Can you roll insight?
Insight on what?
What he just said. Burberry is going to have a reaction, and I want to see if he notices it.
Wouldn't that just be passive insight?
Yeah, I think
what was that?
Barnaby's passive insight is an 11, looks like.
Okay, let's see if
So,
you notice nothing.
yeah, fair.
What makes it 11?
It's 10 plus your insight score for passive.
I did not.
I have a -1 to insight.
Oh. What did Barnaby say that triggered this?
You know
The-
when your god's angry at you and you're worried that it might be sending something to you, so you use that to protect yourself from the good of the god against you.
Do I have perception to see what?
Oh,
Burberry's reaction
what is your passive insight, Noah? 10 plus your insight?
Noel?
Well, Aloran, excuse
Oh,
me. God,
sorry.
Aloran, passive insight. 10 plus your insight. So 13. Would a 13 meet it?
Fortunately,
Or-
no.
Yeah, no. It escapes everyone's notice, it looks like. So, y'all have plumbed the depths of the spellbook. A couple of functional spells in there.
Can I use
How if we
this?
take a quick pee break?
I'd say looking at it, I mean, so you're obviously not a wizard, so like you don't really have a lot of use for a spell book per se. Generally, wizards will take spells from other wizards and copy them into their own books so that they learn them, so to speak. But another thing that people can do is that they can use spell scrolls as kind of a one-shot use of a spell, which consumes the scroll, but would let them actually like cast the spell even if they don't know it necessarily.
So I could probably use it once for false life.
Yeah, I'd say if you wanted to like rip the pages out and start practicing with them, like you could probably like figure a way out to cast these as scrolls if you wanted to do it that way.
You should practice with protection from good and evil, because if you succeeded, then you would use it.
What does false life do?
False life gives you kind of a buffer of HP, so you get like some temporary hit points to kind of shield you from damage for a little bit. I believe so. I have to look at it specifically, but I think you can.
Okay,
Cool.
then yeah, I'll probably try to make those into like a one-use scroll.
Yeah, just kind of tear those pages out and tuck those away then.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and note down that you have a scroll of false life and a scroll of just in your inventory, and a scroll of protection from good and evil. So, pee break. I heard.
Yeah, let's take a quick
For
break.
that.
Okay, and then once we
That's
return,
what happens when you eat a lot of soup.
yeah, after pee break, we will pick up with watches.
All right.
Good.
All right. business before bed. The party sets up watches,
Sleeping time.
hunkers down, and because Chani rolled a 13 for the day, we're not going to worry about each shift. You guys do not encounter anything shady today.
Nice.
Good job. And you'll wake up in the morning to the sound of a raven calling outside. Just
What kind of alarm clock is that? Got nothing on a chicken.
yeah. So you look outside and sun's shining. You can see some rain clouds in the distance up ahead, north of you. You do see that raven kind of perched in a palm tree down by the road. Just
Are ravens common to the area?
give me a nature check.
Oh, what?
A nature check. Okay. 6. Yeah, you don't know. You've seen birds around, I guess. I mean, that's a bird.
Could I ask the group if ravens are common to the area?
John would know the best.
Hey,
John, are ravens common to the area?
John,
I don't know. Let me check.
give me a nature check.
Sure. Let's see. 8.
8.
Oh, bird. Birds are just birds.
It's a bird. Like, there's all kinds of birds around here.
Okay.
Lauren,
He
did
just
you...
He just kind of like lock eyes with it for a second, and then kind of cocks his head at you, and then flies away.
Doesn't sound ornithologist.
Sorry, I'm a little long. There was creepy things in basement.
And you woke up to a raven in the palm tree. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's fine. He flies away. No big deal. And yeah. Anything before you guys head out for the day?
I was going to ask Lauren, did you say you found a wand as well?
I did.
It is the bottom half of a broken wand. Yes.
Yes.
Like the handle.
Would you like to look at it?
I would not mind taking a look at it.
Then I'll hand over the broken wand.
Would I be able to know, like if I focused on this thing for an hour, if I could identify its properties, or is that beyond my knowledge?
I mean, if this was like an intact magic item, yeah, you could probably try to attune with it. But I think like taking hold of it, like this thing has been snapped in half, like something stepped on it.
There's like no remnants of any magical anything.
You don't feel any magical anything. Yeah, it's just like this gross, warped, waterlogged stick. The only real indication that's even part of a wand is like there's like a loose leather wrapping around the grip, and the butt of it has been very crudely chiseled into like a tiny skull.
We got some like real.
That's it.
Unfortunately, I think this is just a stick now.
Do you like a stick?
I just tossed it into the fire.
Oof. Protected.
Maybe I wanted the stick still.
The tiny skull just kind of glares out at you from its place where it...
I look very sadly at the fire. I'm just like, oh, my stick.
Noel makes a point to find a better stick for Aloran later.
Alright. So, with not much else to cover in the morning, y'all set out. What's the pace?
Normal pace now. I just wanted to do fast pace for the first day.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, almost fine.
Normal pace today, and similar marching situation. John up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get a D20 from somebody, please?
I'll do it
Sure.
today.
Well, all right then.
All right, Barnaby. Or
I'm sorry, I rolled a 5.
5. Okay.
Oh.
With a 5, you guys carry on your way. And I will say, for the sake of expediency, clean travels today, no problems. Again, this light rain, kind of sporadically throughout the day, persists. You're kind of walking in and out of these scattered showers.
I imagine this weather is quite
indeed.
nice for you, Aloran.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying this, honestly.
And then, aside from the slight chill of the rain, like temperature's fine. It's like a manageable 60.
Is it for flavor? You guys can see my hair kind of start flowing a little more,
Kind of fan
fan out a little bit more every time
with
it
the
rains.
moisture. Yeah.
Flavor, a little salt.
Full seasoning.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's another quiet day on the road. You guys
Noel,
don't encounter anything untoward.
would you mind reading another one of your lovely poems on the way?
Oh, of course. I'll flip through my book. I'll read you a poem about a old man who runs a small antique and curio shop, who lives a peaceful life. That's all.
That was very beautiful, Noel.
Reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode where they play that game where they live like an entire lifetime. Guy. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen that, but my brain went to the man who ran the curio shop that Kilt kept trying to buy monkey outfits from.
This is not that.
I know! That's what I was like, trying not to
Peaceful, kind, warm existence.
That sounded quite serene, thank you.
Oh, I feel
I appreciate that.
For what?
my turn.
Oh, you have you have your conch thing.
Yeah, but I
right?
probably could have actually.
It was a broken wand. Yeah, it's not useful.
Yeah,
It's broken. It's old and shitty. So, at the end of your travel today, you guys do reach the large campground that John told you guys about. So, if I could get another D20 roll from you guys as you approach.
Hey, your turn.
What?
It's your turn. I stole yours, so you should
All
do
right. Then I will roll a 17.
17.
17.
Hey.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
I done fucked us, didn't I? Oh, excuse me, Ma. Didn't mean to swear.
Okay. No. This actually kind of works out. This is cool. Okay.
No. I'm not supposed to swear.
So, as you guys approach this campsite, you actually see a column of smoke rising up over the trees at a distance before you even get close. And John, you recognize the area. You know the campsite's coming up. You kind of let the group know what's about to appear before you as you step into this wide clearing that kind of flanks the road on either side. There's no trees. It's all like open, trampled dirt. And there's these tables, these kind of old, weather-worn tables and benches, like picnic tables that have been built and set up here. There's some stone, like fire pits that have, like, pretty nice-looking ones that have been set up and look like they've seen regular use around here. Some of them have iron grates on top, like grills. None of them are in use. This campsite is completely empty, except for one small tent at the far end of the encampment. You see one lone figure sitting over a fire, just kind of poking at it with a stick. He's got a pretty heavy cloak draped over his shoulders, hood pulled up, and pretty bulky looking figure too. There's a horse tied off to a tree nearby, and he's got a bundle of gear kind of slumped on the ground next to him. And he is the only person here.
I'll approach.
I'll approach.
Okay. Howdy.
Excusez-moi, monsieur?
And this figure turns to look out to you over his shoulder, kind of pulls the hood back to get a better look. And what you see is an not elderly, but aged man. Wrinkles starting to show on the face and forehead. He's also got some pretty gnarly scars, like the other old man you saw a few days ago. He's got like one over the eyebrow, and another like kind of like a slash mark on one cheek from what looks like, you know, a set of 3 claws. He has this long white hair pulled back in a ponytail, this salt and pepper beard, very fair-skinned, and these piercing golden eyes.
Ooh.
And he just kind of looks over at the two of you and he says, "Oh, welcome to the camp." Kind of gestures around.
Do you
There's plenty of room.
do you own this place, or?
No, I'm just passing through.
Well, I hope you do not mind having some folks here with you tonight.
Doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Potentially we could break bread with
What was that?
break bread with one another.
Oh, he gives you kind of just like a small smile. Just kind of says, "If you like, not opposed." Name's Gerald. I'll stick a hand out.
I'm a Lauren, and I shake his hand.
He's got a very firm handshake. And the hand that comes out from under that cloak is completely armored. Just like plated gauntlet up into the arm and shoulder. Heavy pauldron. And looking over him now, you can see underneath that cloak as he's kind of turned to you, like he is set up with a very, very sturdy set of plate armor. Very bulky. And you can actually see, look at the gauntlet now that it's kind of up in front of you. There is a decent amount of like etching, like embellishment on it. It's old and worn and does not look like it's been cared for to the best of his abilities. But it is present. This does look like a pretty nice set.
What's his name?
Gerald. Jarald.
Can I do an insight on the symbol or history?
What symbol?
Oh, I thought you said symbol. Sorry.
No, he's just got some like embellishment on the armor, like it's decorated like acid etchings. Old and worn, but present. It's funny that you do mention symbol though, because I was actually about to say that he does have on the cloak he does actually have a brooch that is this like pressed dark metal and depicts an eye with it looks like a teardrop at first, but you look closer at it and it's like a sword coming down from the eye.
Jen.
Kind of a
Can I roll history on that?
history check on that symbol? Yeah, sure.
Can I roll religion?
I
Or would that just be
I would
history?
say history. I would say history.
15.
15? Okay. Burberry, what'd you get?
Not as much as a 15.
Okay.
But it is 14, so you know.
14? It is enough for both of you to recognize. This man is a member of Gatewatch. He is a watcher.
What is a watcher?
I'd say you're probably not as familiar with them as you are with the Wardens, but you do know that they are sort of sister organizations. Both of them date back several centuries to the time of a very old kingdom called Illyria, which was the first sort of civilization to settle in this world. The Watcher's job was to protect the world from extraplanar entities like demons or elementals, devils, just anything that might follow you from the outside in and try to fuck shit up. This guy's job was to kill it.
I don't remember. Green Wardens were like, what did this say? Sister.
You see his eyebrows raised and he kind of nods. He's like, "Oh, that's nice." And that's all he says. Oh, what brings a lot of you this way? You
Have to deal with a man who wronged me.
That sounds messy.
Might get.
Technically, we're heading away from that man right now.
We'll get there. Might take a bit. But we will get there.
Good luck with that. Hopefully.
Name's Barnaby, by the way. Barnaby Ray Otis III.
Barnaby. Gerald. He sticks a hand out.
Good to meet you. I will shake.
He shakes once and he's done.
I'm Noel. I'll offer shake as well.
He also shakes your hand, same as the first two.
Is there like a stump I could sit on around this fire?
Yeah, there's like rocks and stumps and shit scattered all over this place. You could easily pull one up.
Cool. I'll just sit down, not like next to him, but just like across the fire from him.
Okay. He doesn't really react. He just kind of gestures like, "Yeah, sure. Make yourselves comfortable."
What about yourself? Why do you find yourself out here?
Well, on my way back to Freeport after some business in Handalar, down south.
So we're heading the same direction, it sounds like.
So it would seem. Funny that.
We have not actually seen you on the road. How long have you been here at the campsite?
A couple of days. Caught wind of something in the woods nearby. Needed to take care of it.
Something in the woods?
It's dealt with, I promise.
Ah. I only asked...
John have seen him on his... Sorry. Would John have seen him on his way south?
Give me... Actually, no, yeah, you probably saw him 3 or 4 days ago, maybe.
Oh, yes, I remember you now. We crossed paths 3 or 4 days back.
Ah. I thought you looked familiar.
At the cart
John.
at the time.
John, right?
Yep.
Did you ever find your friend?
Fortunately not, but unfortunately I think I found the people behind it.
Yeah. Well, that's something at least.
Yeah, it'd be good to be scarce around the south of here, though.
Well, I don't intend to head back that way anytime soon. But if I was, I wouldn't be too worried.
Quite a few of them.
Yeah. They're welcome to try.
By the way, they mentioned new lore around this area. Have you heard of a Vanis Theron?
He kind of squints his eyes. I've heard the name. Can't say
Saying
no.
he. They were saying he's the owner of the land between Helmfirth and Handler now.
He kind of shrugs. I mean, could well be. Be honest.
Hadn't heard of anything, so.
Don't much keep up with land holdings. I tend to travel a lot.
Could I get an insight check on his reaction when he heard that name?
Yeah, sure.
Natural 20 plus 4, 24.
Ooh, very good. Okay, so you are kind of watching him as he responds. You get the sense that he genuinely doesn't know who that is.
Okay.
He does not seem to care either.
Fair enough.
You do get the impression that he is maybe slightly uncomfortable with the sudden appearance of 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's not really used to socializing.
Sure.
And like whatever kind of discomfort or awkwardness you're picking up seems to be coming from that.
Could I, would y'all be down to play a game of cards, since we'll be here for the night?
Are we going to be fishing again?
I would like to.
Not that kind of fishing.
Was that literally you saying go fish?
That is how it was described, no?
Yes, we can go fishing.
I don't think there's a river around here.
Barnaby, we're talking about the game. But we'll find you a river soon.
It's a card game.
I hope so.
And aren't we pretty close to the shore still?
Yeah, I'd say the road at this point is a few miles from the road. It's kind of bent inward, kind of wrapping around a hill. So you're not super close to the ocean. Like, if you walked an hour, you could reach it.
Ain't worth it.
And are we?
Time I get there, it'll be time to go back.
Is the campsite in the forest tree line, or is it off? Just off the road?
Yeah, it's in the forest. There's not like a ton of trees growing in the campsite itself. It's been pretty cleared out, but there's a couple of trees here and there offering shade.
Okay.
Were you thinking of hunting?
You know, that I could do. I would like to go do that. Damn.
Then,
Damn.
DM, excuse me. Your accent is
Damn.
very thick. Okay, so Barnaby wants to excuse himself to go hunting. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
I'm gonna go get some food for next night's supper. Let's see, survival. That is not that great. But thankfully I rolled great. That is a 16. 15 plus 1.
Okay.
Bless your journey.
Thank you kindly.
That it is not too terribly difficult for you to get a hold of some small game. I think you catch sight of a couple of rabbits at one point, and you kind of track them a little ways, and they see you and they kind of take off, but they run past this turkey, and you're like, "Ooh, big bird!" So you shoot the turkey. Now you got some good old fucking Western turkey meat.
All right.
You can do something with that.
I bring it back and I start to defeather it.
Not so close to the fire, if you would.
Oh, don't worry. Doc knows his way around the feathers.
He's gonna kind of lean in towards, I guess, Noelle, since she's sitting probably the closest. He's gonna be like, "Yeah."
All the feathers kicked up.
He's gonna sneeze right in his face.
He just kind of wiped it off.
Barnaby, can you take that out of the camp?
If you insist. Doc doesn't really like working blind, though.
I'll look at the rest of you like, what is going on?
What was he gonna say to me?
He was gonna ask you, like, is he okay?
Oh.
To be honest, I don't know. I think he has lost a lot in the last few days.
Does John have any torches or anything?
Is John or Gerald?
John.
John should have torches. He's got
Trying
spores
see.
today.
He has a tinderbox.
You should have some torches.
Doesn't say so.
You would like, you may have one of mine.
I'll grab one from Burberry and light it with my tinderbox and hand it over to, or I'll go with Barnaby to wherever he needs some light so that he can get this thing ready without being blind.
Alright, that's fair.
Awful kind of you. Much appreciated.
So Barnaby and John are kind of on turkey duty. You guys are just kind of chilling around the camp.
We are going fishing.
You want to go? I'll play Go Fish. Yeah. I think
It's
Gerald
not with me to fall for it.
one round and then lose terribly and kind of back out. Is there anything you guys want to cover tonight before calling it?
Do we need to use a ration, or is Barnaby going to provide a meal for us?
I think
I
that
do believe I can.
Yeah, I think that turkey could definitely feed you guys for the night.
Okay. I got nothing.
Do you have something?
I was gonna ask where you got this.
Oh. Okay, yeah. He will say, this was crafted for me at the Presidium up in Freeport. Thank you. It's seen me through more than its fair share of battles.
What's the most interesting battle?
Kind of leans back and he thinks back. There was, y'all are probably too young to remember, but there was an incursion about 50 years back. Demons tore through a portal in the Midlands, razed a couple of cities, swept across the countryside. Hell of a mess. Thankfully, me and some sword brothers were able to clean that mess up with the assistance of the local military forces and the wardens and the elves. But we were the ones that sealed the portal. That was a nasty fight. Big hulking bastard came out of that thing. Probably 3 stories tall. Blood red, horns, wings. Real demonic shit, you know. Killed like half of us.
That sounds nightmarish.
Yeah,
Big hulking bastard have a name?
I didn't stop to ask.
I am not surprised.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing you forget, but
It happened to breathe fire.
Height of my resume. So. He's the one that gave me this. And he points at the slash mark across his face.
Could I ask him if he's ever gone to the Sea of the Big Hole?
Sea of Halon?
Yeah.
I've never sailed on it, if that's what you mean.
There's never been anything, nothing ever came out of there.
Not to my knowledge. He's kind of scrutinizing you because you're kind of coming at him a little weird about it.
I have a question.
Why do you ask?
I had a experience there recently, so just curious if there's ever been incidents before. I don't know what it was, but it was quite nightmarish.
That's unfortunate. What?
You're talking about the ghoul?
No, we're talking about something.
That came out of a dark hole in the ocean.
Oh, like a Leviathan?
All I really saw was a lot of eyes before I was knocked unconscious.
A lot of eyes.
In the water?
I mean, that could be a lot of things. Either way, I am sorry about that. What were you doing out there?
An expedition for the Green Wardens.
He kind of looks at the rest of the group. This doesn't look like a warden party.
I didn't even hear what she said.
It is not a warden party, no.
Nope.
I would prefer not to speak about it. It's a little hurts a little bit still. So
That sounds serious.
that's why I'm headed to Freeport.
You should definitely start bracing yourself for that conversation because
Yes.
they're going to want to hear it.
It's not gonna be fun, so
Well, whatever did happen, my sympathies. I don't want to drag it out of you. I am planning to head out tomorrow. I do have a stop to make about midday, but in after that, I'm fine to travel with you all the rest of the way, at least, if you're making straight for the city.
How long will you have to be stopped?
Shouldn't be more than a couple hours.
I think we could.
It would give us time to resupply.
catch our breath.
Fine by me.
Whatever you do with that time is your business. I have a stop to make. Suffice to say.
Do you need any help with your stuff?
I've got it pretty well controlled.
I feel compelled to
We'll
ask.
say with the passive perception of the group, you do actually kind of notice his eyes as he says this kind of dart up, like over your shoulders towards the tree line at the edge of the campsite.
I feel compelled to ask. If we are to travel together, do you bring any trouble with you?
Well, there are a few fiendish planes out there who do not think very kindly of me, but I don't see much of them these days.
They bring in the bigger issue.
Can I like
No.
can I like subtly look in the direction he was gazing?
Yeah, sure. You kind of look over your shoulder, and you see that there's actually a bag tied up in one of the trees,
Ah.
and then you see it kind of thrash a little bit and kick.
Oh my.
It's like the size of a backpack. It's not a big bag. And like as soon as you look back at him, you see him like staring directly at you.
Is that
He's just got this kind of like semi-apologetic grimace on his face.
Is that coming with us?
Until I make me stop, yes.
Burberry, by the way.
Then he doesn't get up, like, there's enough distance that he doesn't require any shaking.
Fine. He just nods in acknowledgement.
I feel like I should ask, could you elaborate on that?
And sorry, I forgot you guys can't physically see me, brain. Burberry gestures towards the bag
Okay,
when
sure.
he says that.
Sure.
So I'll go look at that.
Okay. The bag it's like hanging from a tree branch about
It's probably best
15
not
feet
to
off the
touch
ground.
that.
You can see like a rope that's tied off to like a lower knot on the tree to kind of lower it and raise it. And it just kind of occasionally like thrashes and kicks. At this distance, you can't hear anything beyond the rustling of the bag occasionally. Burberry, give me a persuasion check.
I mean, if we are to be traveling with it. Oh, that was very poor. Let's just assume that I failed, because I probably did.
What was the question again? Just because
Do you want to elaborate on the bag?
do I want to elaborate on that? I highly doubt you want me to.
As long as it's no danger to us, I don't feel like he needs to elaborate.
I've got it under control.
Does he seem confident when he says that?
He seems very confident.
Okay, cool.
I got 3 questions.
Okay.
1, have I ever heard of the Gatewatch?
Give me a history check, but chances are yes, the DC is going to be very low.
2, what's in the bag? 3, what's in the bag?
I rolled lower than DC, that's a 4.
4. Surprisingly, okay, I'll say this. You've probably heard of them, but you genuinely just don't know anything about them.
Okay. Well, I'm learning a lot then. Second question, have I heard of the Green Wardens?
I mean, give me another history check. It's going to be low. This is a very common.
That was a natural 20.
Okay, yeah. For whatever reason, you know much more about them. So the Green Wardens are they're again a sister organization to the Watch. They were founded back in the time of Illyria. The Watch, which you don't know this, but Aloran does. The Watch was founded to deal with extraplanar threats. Wardens were sort of founded to help tend to this plane itself. So their jobs were very multifaceted. They were very much about setting up viable ecosystems. In the early days of Illyria, they were very much about making sure that there was a proper balance between settlements and the environment. Very ecologically minded group. They were also very practiced peacekeepers and diplomats. They were involved a lot in political conflicts between various settlements that arose over the years, and they're still pretty involved in that. They're well regarded just because they do their best to stay neutral, but they also bring a lot of expertise and knowledge to conversations, and you very frequently see members of the Wardens on like the privy councils to lords in the Midlands or in Inigard.
Okay.
They're very involved and they're very well respected in communities and in the wilderness. The Watchers, meanwhile, much more secretive.
Sure.
Much more furtive. Not regarded nearly as highly. They very much keep to themselves and have kind of receded back into obscurity, which probably explains why you don't know much of anything about them.
Does fit. Third question, have I ever in all my years met anyone with pale skin and golden eyes?
Give me a history check.
13.
13. I'll say probably not personally, but you've heard stories.
Like what?
This tends to be a marking of someone who's been touched by divine powers, marked by the gods or other celestial beings.
Okay. Oh, and did Aloran say that they're a part of the Green Wardens?
Aloran is, yes.
Okay. I don't think I knew that before, though.
No.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Lore drop.
He's asking a lot of questions.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? The bag just kind of thrashes in the tree.
What is in the bag? I'm mighty curious.
I'm back from plucking the turkey.
He just kind of looks at you balefully and says very plainly, "It's an offering."
All right.
To the gods.
Barnaby's
You're
curiosity is sated.
You're so curious.
He said, well, it was. Now I know. No one's half the battle, after all.
The bag just thrashes again.
What was the answer to Lauren's question?
About...
She said to the gods?
Oh, yeah, he said a god.
A god. Oh, might I ask which one? I am always curious.
I'm just going to take a look at you real quick.
I'd say Burberry does his best to look innocent, but he's a masked face, so that wouldn't make much difference.
It's just blank. Yeah, it's a blank expression. He doesn't...
He's making an expression behind the mask.
He doesn't really get much off of you, I'll say, just looking at you. And he'll just kind of say, "You've probably never heard of them."
Oh no!
Oh, no, do tell me. I would love to hear all about it.
And like Burberry like physically leans forward slightly.
He kind of leans back.
Oh, apologies. I get excited.
That's fine. Give me a persuasion check again. 19. You can see he's kind of like hemming and hawing a little bit. Like you can kind of feel him turning this over in his head, and kind of looking over the group again, kind of feeling you guys out. It's like,
Oh, is it Ebirashta, Canthor, Lampriophyx, Mesvana, Marx, Alice? Which one?
as you start listing them off, he's like, "I have never heard of any of those. Interesting."
The reason I get the 19 is because he just started listing off people.
Yeah, I think he, after a moment more of consideration, just kind of looks back at all of you and he says, "Look, I'm not sure how much you've heard about our organization. I know there's a lot of rumors that get passed around. Just, bear in mind, we kill things that come to hurt this world. We're not trying to do anything more than that."
It is all about maintaining the balance.
Right. And I'm going to say this too. Probably best to keep this to yourself. It's not a well-known god, and those who do know of it outside the Watch don't necessarily hold it in very high regard. But I'm planning to make a stop tomorrow at a shrine about an hour off the road dedicated to Bolathamog, he who watches from beyond the stars. Kind of looks around. Does that ring any bells?
Can I roll a religion check? Although it should be noted that Burberry is like he pulled the book off of his thing and is flipping through it rapidly.
Pages, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
you have a religion check? You want to make one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyone who wants to try and identify this god, give me a religion check.
Sure. 14.
14.
14. Holy shit! That's amazing.
Oh, I see that we've been visited by the Arin gods.
None of you have heard of this god.
I haven't even heard of that RN god.
So Burberry, having not found anything in his notebook, starts like writing in it.
Okay.
And he goes, if I might, what domain are they? Is he? Is it a he? Is he?
Truth be told, I don't know whether Balathamog cares about that kind of thing. It's an old god. It's a protector, a guardian, a doorman. Keeps watch at the edge of the universe, they say, and keeps the way shut to things from outside.
What a fascinating prospect.
Well, I imagine that was what our forebears in the Watch thought when they first heard of him. He's not widely worshipped within our ranks, but there's enough of us who pay homage.
Would it be alright for us to watch an offering?
If you got a strong stomach.
The Enclave knows of him already, though, right?
I'm sure they do. I don't know if they approve. I know the Watch doesn't particularly care one way or the other.
Who would like to watch? She's big.
You can stomach it. I'm not going to stop you. You're welcome to follow.
I too would like to watch.
Okay. I guess
This is Kat speaking for science.
Yeah. More. I just want to watch.
Okay. Okay.
Since we're like sister companies, but
Yeah.
intrigued by it.
That's fair.
To meet an actual member. So Lauren's just kind of like excited because never seen it.
I think he probably picks up on that and just kind of chuckles a little bit. He's like, this is the strangest bunch. I never thought I'd meet a group like this out here.
It's a weird place.
It's an interesting road. Definitely say that much. Well, it is getting late, so if you will excuse me, I think I'm going to turn in for the night. But you're welcome to keep to the fire. See you all in the morning.
Good night.
Stand up and make his way into his tent. And you can hear clattering as he starts to Same to you. You hear muffled from inside. And you hear clattering as he starts to peel his armor off his body. And yeah, after a minute, it's quiet. About 15 minutes later, from inside.
Did we ever eat that turkey?
Yeah, I imagine this has all been happening as y'all have been cooking and eating. So
Save the bit for later.
yeah. So, anything else for the night, or are we good until morning?
I had a question for Barnaby. If we're all like sitting around the fire at some point.
Okay.
Barnaby, I wanted to ask.
What can I do for you, Noel?
Are you okay? I mean, just not. I
Why
don't mean
wouldn't
that
I
in a
be?
bad way. I just mean your whole life has just been uprooted, and you just found out that potentially hundreds of gold worth of fish were stolen from you. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're mad, but are you okay?
Barnaby just walks over and puts an arm around her and pats her on the shoulder. Don't worry. Do you see, the way I see it, I looked out at those stars every night and I think, what would my pa want me to be doing? Not really sitting in a shack for some time, making cooking for a living. I thought about avenging him for a while, but I realized that'll eventually come. If I try and chase it, I'm just going to be stuck there forever. So, getting out into a big world full of adventure is exactly what I'm looking for. So don't you worry about old me.
Well, why were you in the shack then?
I had to make some money.
I am sure that Alyss would approve of his actions.
He's done the shack proud with that mighty gumbo of his.
Now, eventually, once I'm tired of adventuring, I'll probably head on back to the shack, fix it up in real nice like, maybe go back to doing what I was doing. But I want to see how many adventures I can get in before I do that.
I'll send any Tritons that I crossed over to that shack for you.
That'd be much appreciated.
Yes, well, we do appreciate having you around.
Of course. Not a worry at all. You've been fine company just as well.
Thank you.
I'm gonna talk to Burberry.
Okay.
I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen with that bag.
As you watch, it continues to crash in the tree.
Yeah.
Kind of thumps against the trunk a couple
What
times.
do you think it is?
Admittedly, I have no desire to watch anything get murdered. However, from a religious standpoint, it is absolutely fascinating. In several,
And he starts talking about like other religious ceremonies that he's read about or seen, like that involve the sacrifices of living things, that involves like, you know, quote unquote sacrifices of like giving food and money, and like he just kind of starts drowning you in religious practices.
I'm gonna say that she reacts like fondly to it because she is very intrigued to see if anything that like what you're saying is gonna happen. Like,
I admit, I do hope that it's not a child, but I highly doubt it.
I will say it's not a child-sized bag. It's like a backpack-size sack.
Baby could fit in a backpack, Jacob.
A baby could, but a baby could not hit this violently. This thing is occasionally flinging itself, trying to break free. You can see there's a violence to it, but it, for whatever reason, can't seem to break out of the bag.
If I had to guess, it's probably an animal of some kind.
I'm hoping it's nothing cute.
That is definitely not a guarantee.
I know. That's what concerns me. But it's okay. I just have to close my eyes.
Now, may I ask? I know what several other members, but what god do you worship?
Please?
I think it's Alice.
I think it's Alice. Yeah.
Oh, another believer of Alice. It's no wonder you left the ocean or became part of the green. I forgot. Cat forgot the word.
Wardens.
Yes, the green. Yes,
Yeah.
the green wardens. An
Hey,
adventurous.
no wonder we got along so well.
Yes, this was bonded over gumbo for many nights.
Burberry sounds quite excited.
So, with that, you guys can hunker down for the night. Take
Set
some
up a
more-
tent, eat turkey in my tent.
eat some
Be a good
turkey.
day.
And the night passes without incident. It's another quiet night. The only real sound is the occasional thump of something hefty in a bag smacking against a tree trunk at the edge of the campsite. But beyond that, no issues. Y'all sleep well. Wake up in the morning. Gerald is up before any of you, already armored, cloak on his back, just kind of cleaning up his things, taking his tent apart.
Oh, dibs on being second awake.
All right, that's fair.
Dibs on third.
What was that god's name before we get too far from it?
Bulathamog. So that's
Thamog.
this is a fucking
Is it BOL or BL?
BOLOTHAMOGG.
I was surprisingly close.
Same. I got like, I missed one letter and I did an A instead of an O.
I think it's Bulathamog. I mean,
Bulathamog.
Bulathamog. But yeah, so he's up. He's getting his tent down. He's packing his things. Now that he's back in like full travel gear, he's got everything on his person. You see, he's got a great sword slung across his back as well. That was probably in his tent when you guys came up. And there's also what looks like a compacted hand crossbow in a holster hanging from his belt. And as you know, you all start kind of coming out of your tents, kind of greets you all as morning. Eventually heads over and undoes the rope to lower the sack to the ground.
Can I follow him over there, curiously?
Okay, sure. And when you get closer, you actually start to hear the sounds coming out of the bag. This.
I'm gonna talk to Burger. I'm like, it doesn't sound cute.
It's not. He takes hold of the bag and immediately just like slams it like a pillow against the ground, and he goes.
Does it sound like it's speaking either demonic or abyssal?
Bag.
It does sound like abyssal, actually. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You speak abyssal?
No, but I have a.
You got out of me.
Sorry. Well, no. It's so I have a background trait called adept linguist, which means that if basically if I hear something being spoken for a day, I can learn parts of the language. So I don't think he'd actually speak abyssal or infernal, but I think he would know if it was abyssal or infernal.
Okay, I think you would start to recognize words. I don't know if you would learn enough to know that this was specifically the abyssal language, but whatever he's speaking, you would recognize some of it after a certain amount of time of studying it. It's a lot of cursing. A lot of this is like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck your mother, I'll fucking kill you, like, fucking just vile shit coming out of this thing's mouth, whatever it is. And you'll probably pick that up over the next couple of hours listening to it. But Gerald, as soon as he gets hold of the bag, just like fucking slammed it against the ground, slammed it against the tree trunk, just like trying to get it to calm down, and it falls limp for a moment. Then it starts kicking again and cussing, so he slams it one more time, and eventually just kind of throws it over his back. He's like, whatever, and takes it over his horse. The horse seems very on edge as he starts to tie it up to his saddle, but he's just like, shh, it's okay, shh. few more hours. Gets the horse home. Gets this thing tied up behind one of his stirrups and saddles up as y'all are all getting ready to go. And anytime it thrashes, he kind of gives it a good kick with his heel. So, we ready?
I am.
Ready as we will ever be.
Most definitely.
Can I get a D20 from somebody in the group?
I haven't done it yet.
Peter.
Nat 1. I'm glad I rolled Nat 1 on that. Well, maybe I'm not. Let's see.
We'll see. Normal pace today?
Yep.
All right. So you guys head out, and it is a quiet day.
Sorry, do we know what class Gerald is?
I don't think you would be able to put that together necessarily. Class isn't like a hard thing in universe. It's just kind of like the mechanics.
Okay.
Yeah. You do see he's got very heavy armor and a big fucking sword. He looks like a bruiser. But beyond that, no. So, starting your day travel, the rain seems to have let up today. It's pretty sunny and windy. And as the day goes on, the winds start to pick up and get a little stronger. You see overhead, like the leaves of the trees and the branches are pretty violently like waving in the wind. And given the shelter that you kind of have, like traveling through the forest right now, it's not too bad. But you sense like the road kind of bends back towards the coast, closer to the coast. You would definitely be feeling it kind of beating against you. It'd be a rough day walking through that.
I will hand Burberry that hat back.
Like you keep up with it.
Oh, sorry.
I will say a few hours later, you guys will reach this stopping point where Gerald kind of brings the horse to heel and kind of pulls him off the road on this very small, almost imperceptible little trail that kind of leads deeper into the forest, away from the coast. And it's faint enough that if you hadn't been looking for it or you didn't know that it was coming up, like you probably would have just walked right past it. Does not look frequently traveled at all. And he just kind of looks at all of you as he walks up to it. And he's like, well, this is the way. If you really want to see this, come on.
I will.
Begins to ride down this path.
Lauren follows eagerly, pushing for Burberry, like, let's go.
Science.
So you guys head off after Gerald, and it's a little more than an hour down this road. So you probably aren't going to make full progress today just because of this detour, but you do get to see, as you come through this very dense patch of forest, you kind of break through into this little grove, and the sunlight's kind of filtering down through the leaves. You can hear the wind rushing overhead, rattling the branches. And before you is this very tall, probably like 10 to 12 feet tall standing stone pillar. And it has been engraved with this large depiction. It's not a full statue carving. It's just kind of like like the face of the stone has been chiseled away to create a relief of this figure. And what you see is this stylized, kind of like a Norse tracery sort of style. This serpentine body. and it kind of rises up out of this tangle of coils, and the head opens up into this wide, gaping mouth that is just like ringed with teeth and eyes. And these eyes kind of flow in a spiral pattern from the center of the mouth out and around the head and into the space around it, as sort of like a halo almost, that kind of surrounds this figure. And in front of this standing stone, there is a flattened stone slab, and the surface of it is very discolored. There is this blotchy black stain that has just kind of spread out across it. Perception, or yeah, I guess perception, sure. 21. Doesn't look like blood per se. This is like black. Blood usually dries as kind of like a brownish, like rusty color, but this is like jet black, oily looking.
Is this an altar?
This is it. He's gonna get down off of his horse, and
Did everybody come? Or it's just...
I assume everyone followed. I didn't hear any objections.
Yeah, Noelle's reluctantly followed, but she's probably gonna not watch the actual.
Curious to see what's going on down here.
All right.
Would you like to borrow my hat again?
I'll just head down the trail a little ways.
Okay. So kind of keeping your distance.
I'll stealth just for mechanical purposes.
Okay. All right. So if you want to hide, give me a stealth check.
Yeah. Just so I'm like. That's pretty good.
In case anything pops off.
Yeah, 22.
22. That's fair. Pretty well hidden. Noelle kind of steps back into the brush and genuinely just kind of vanishes from sight. So he grabs the bag. Gerald grabs this bag off his horse. He unties it. And this whole time, this whole like multi-hour ride, this thing has just been gibbering, and as you figured out, Burberry, swearing and cussing and cursing, the most vile shit. Just this constant. He gives it another like punch to try and like shut it up before just saying, fuck it, you're almost done anyways. He goes over to the altar and he gets down on his knees. And he grabs the bag pretty tightly around the mouth of the bag, just slowly loosens it, and then kind of reaches in and gets hold of something and starts to pull slowly. And you see what comes out of the bag is the head of this small, horned, wretched-looking imp creature. It's got these wide, like, squinted, dark eyes, snub nose, and a mouth full of these sharp, like, gnarled little teeth. And the whole time, just constantly babbling and cursing and swearing. But he grabs this chain that's on the ground, this rusted old chain, kind of pulls it up out of the weeds, wraps it around the neck, and just kind of like holds it there. And then he fastens it to a hook somewhere in the grass. Behind the altar, you don't see it. So this thing is kind of like pinned down now by the neck.
Mm-hmm.
He finishes pulling the bag off. He grabs it by the ankles and it starts to kick. He grabs
Everybody's
another
taking notes.
chains up the ankles and hooks those behind the altar. And this thing's now kind of like splayed out by the neck and the ankles. And then he pulls from his belt what looks like a railroad spike, like 2 inches long, just like rough iron.
Burberry leans over to Alarin and says, "Head or heart?"
I'm going to guess.
I guess I'll take heart then.
And and he sets those down.
Does he hear us?
If he hears you, he's not paying attention. Actually, give me a perception check. Since you guys are like really paying attention to this.
17?
17?
15.
15. Okay. You actually hear him muttering something himself. What languages do you guys speak?
Sylvan and Common.
Okay.
Draconic, Celestial, and Primordial.
Okay.
Draconic, Primordial, and Druid.
So I will say, Burberry, you do recognize some portions of what he's saying is in Celestial. Some of this sounds like a prayer, but then he switches languages halfway through, and you don't recognize what this is at all. But he kind of cuts back and forth between the two. The Celestial sounds kind of like an invocation to other gods, almost. Almost this sort of beseechment of understanding. And then he switches languages again, and when he does, you see his attention focuses very intently on this statue looming over him. And so he's taken out this stake, he's taken out this hammer, and now he pulls out a knife. He sets the knife at the top of the sternum, plunges it in, and just rips all the way down. And
I guess this means that I win.
Fucking screams in this wretched little raspy voice. And he sets the knife down, splays the ribs open. He continues the prayer, staring very intently at the statue. And as he's staring, without breaking eye contact with it, he reaches over, he grabs the stake, he grabs the hammer. He slowly kind of like jostles the creature's face until he gets it into the mouth. And then without looking, just smashes it with the hammer.
Truly, I think this means that you win.
No, I feel like we're almost at a tie at this point.
At this point, you see him kind of bow his head, sets his implements down, and finishes his prayer. The creature has fallen completely still.
I would hope so.
And at this point, he bends forward, he unhooks the chains, unties the creature, sets it back down the altar. He pulls the stake out and just kind of throws it into the grass nearby. And kind of looking where it landed, it kind of lands with a clatter, like metal on metal. And he,
Spikes are there.
yeah, go for it. 17. Well, it bounces off of 3, and you look around, and there's like 4 more scattered around next to where it landed. And you look around the base of the altar, and there's like another 7, 8, 9, 10 looking. There's a lot of rusted old spikes just littering this this clearing. Some of them seem fresher than others. All of them have this sickly, oily black stain on their tips. And you watch as this creature has expired and is now sort of bleeding out this fresh black ichor. It's slowly spreading up underneath it and dripping down the sides of the altar. And then, why now? Why now? What should be wrong?
He knows that the end is nigh.
You know what happens to little demons?
I had to mute myself because Button was literally going.
Oh, that's fair. And now that he's done, he puts his hammer and his knife away, cleans them off, turns back to you, and he says, "Well, that concludes my business."
I understood about half of that, but what was the other part of the prayer that you were talking? Half of it was in Celestial, and what was the other half in?
They call it the deep speech. That was for Bolophomogs, or ears only.
I see, I see. And does that require a different stake each time, or could you theoretically use the same stake?
Theoretically, I feel it might be a little disrespectful, though.
Oh, that's very well said, sir.
I'll thank him for allowing us to watch.
As long as you won't hold it against me.
One should never be judged for the gods that they worship, only the
He
actions
holds
that
up a
they do
finger.
in the name of those gods.
There is something to be said for empowering fiends with your supplication. I can't say I'm a huge fan myself.
Well said.
In worship. So, Freeport.
Let's go.
With that, he'll get back on his horse and.
Technically, we need to stop by Helmfirth first.
How long?
I believe we have lost track of Noel.
Oh, I'll rejoin once you guys start heading back.
Okay.
I assume by the point he got on his horse.
Down the road, Noel kind of emerges from the tree line. Steps back out.
Oh, thank heavens. I had thought we accidentally misplaced you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just good at blending in. I wasn't really keen on watching that, so.
This makes sense. Yes, this means that you are both excellent at blending in and standing out.
I suppose so.
As to your question, Gerald, I just need to speak with the guildmaster, so it shouldn't take more than an hour or two.
Well, I can probably wait that long, considering you waited for me. But I am ultimately heading for Freeport. As I said, I have business at the Presidium, so if your path takes you elsewhere, we may be parting ways in Helmfirth.
So the rest of you guys wish to go with him to Freeport first. I can head to Helmfirth myself.
I think we should stick together until Helmfirth at least.
If you're all in as much trouble as you intimated last night, there is definitely safety in numbers. I can't.
We'll stop by.
Now go on, you first.
I guess we'll stop by Helmfirth first, and I can finish my quest by speaking with the guildmaster, and I have no problem escorting you all to Freeport.
As I said, I have business with the Presidium. You all have your own trouble to tend to.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Well, I hope it doesn't turn out too badly for you. I can't exactly involve myself unless I'm personally attacked. This doesn't sound like it involves anything the Watch really presides over.
I hope not.
Knock on
The
wood.
apology, not necessarily.
Well, may Canthor light your way as Bojlig lights ours.
Yeah, you too, I think.
Slide to Helmfirth.
Really have blessings, so just, stay safe, don't die.
So I guess on to Helmfirth now.
Yeah, for the meantime, we've still got 5 days. Shouldn't be too bad.
Let's get to it.
All right. And you guys set off from the shrine. So, I think we'll wrap there. You guys are in the company of Gerald the Watcher.
Is Balathamog, is he a fiend?
He is something else, I think.
Okay. No, I was asking because he said something about empowering fiends. I was like,
Yeah, no, he intimates that he does not appreciate like devil worship.
gotcha.
I guess talking about it with him in a general sense, like he's definitely down to like smite some devil worshippers, you know.
What? Talk about religion? Me? No.
But outside of like the threat posed by extraplanar fiends or elementals or anything really, like you get the sense that the Watch does not really involve themselves in much, not the way the Wardens do. Like they very much keep to themselves.
What group did you say he had to meet up with?
So he's heading to something called the Presidium.
The Presidium.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah. So.
PP.
Alright, wait, I gotta stop. Alright, are we doing the thing? The points or whatever?
Yes. So, MVP, who are we voting for?
I was gonna vote for John because of the double crit.
That was very impressive.
That is fair.
Well, I mean, I would vote for Burberry or Barnaby because he was the one that gave me both those crits, basically.
Oh, I gave one. Lauren gave the other.
Yeah, Lauren entangled the first one.
I would give it to Lauren just for that
Lauren,
entanglement
then.
nonsense.
Yeah,
that was
'cause-
excellent.
Yeah.
I'd say Lauren then, from my point of view.
So that's 2 for Lauren and 2 for John. You both get inspiration. Yay! So mark down that you have inspiration on the front page. Page up there. So there, you now have it. So you can use inspiration anytime you roll the d20, and it will give you advantage.
Hold up, someone didn't vote. Who didn't vote?
I don't think Lauren voted.
No, I voted for John.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then there we go.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
Apologies. No, it was. I heard 2 and 2. I was like, wait, that's 4. There's 5 of us.
I think it was Lauren and Noel for John, and then John and Barnaby and Burberry for Lauren, I think.
Correct.
So
At least that's how I remember it.
I think that's a fair split. Because John did get fucking 2 crits.
He did.
That he did.
If the DM's vote for count for anything, we tie that shit. Because that was such a.
I mean, that's
stupid
up
damage.
to the DM, so I'm gonna go with that makes sense.
I'm willing to give both fucking inspiration for that. That's cool.
Support points.
Yeah, so you get an inspiration, and then for support. So I had Burberry and Lauren.
Yep.
Had some good moments tonight. I saw some good shit between Lauren and Barnaby.
Is it
What
one?
we do.
You guys. Oh yeah, it was John, Lauren, and Barnaby. Excuse me. So the 3 of you in that fight together, just kind of holding that shit down.
That we did.
Does that mean I get a
So if I already have a point with Barnaby, do I get 1 point for Lauren and 1 point for Barnaby?
So now you have 2 points for that one. So you're gaining a point.
So I have 1 point for Lauren and 2 points for Barnaby?
Yep.
Ah, okay. I
And
wasn't
then,
sure how that worked.
I think Noel and Barnaby
Okay.
had a good combo.
Sure.
That's where I fucked up. Okay. I wrote a Lauren Barnaby and then John Barnaby a Lauren twice. So that needed to be Noel and Barnaby and then John Barnaby and Lauren.
Cool.
And then how do we get those to ranks?
So 10 will be rank C with anybody.
Do I get
Alright.
one with Barnaby for the shielding nonsense?
She did help me fend off a zombie with that.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, everybody else got stuff with Barnaby. I want stuff with Barnaby.
Burberry only got 1 point.
You got one with John and Barnaby and Burberry.
Barnaby gets along with everybody. It all makes sense.
Almost.
Except
Towards the
people,
end.
except people who do him wrong.
Yeah, pretty even. So, those are my standout moments. So, there we go. And I think that will probably do it for us. So, I think next session, y'all will reach Helmfirth. Y'all kind of hit the major points of interest along the road, and the random encounter table does not seem interested in actually like giving us an encounter. You guys keep rolling lower than I need to throw wolves or something at you. So now that you have Gerald in your party, random encounters ain't shit. You're gonna be fine. So I'm kind of willing to just say over the next 5 days, you guys and Gerald will probably just have a nice, pleasant, leisurely walk. Maybe one day some wolves come out and you and Gerald all fucking just destroy them because
Gerald's there.
he's there to help, and you guys have proven yourselves more than capable of fucking shit up. So I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll probably open next session as you approach Helmfirth, and for that, I think we can hit level 2.
Oh snap!
Oh shit!
So
Excuse me.
Like Chatsworth.
So for next session, everyone will be level 2. Yeah. So we're leveling up now, and then next session you'll have your new shit.
Should we roll a hit dice just to end the stream?
Yeah. So let's do some hit dice. Who wants to go first?
I will.
Dibs.
Oh, go ahead.
I called dibs.
Oh, okay, go for it.
All right, that's a D10 plus 4. That is a 7.
Ooh, okay. Nice. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
5.
Hey,
I'm above. I've got double-digit health, guys.
good job. Who's next?
Well done.
I don't know what's happening. It's not me.
I rolled a 3 plus 2 is 5.
5? That's good.
Yay.
John, you want to go?
No, I didn't.
Sure. Should I roll?
I assume you're going druid for level 2 again. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll a d8, and you're going to add your Constitution modifier here to it, and that's going to be the. Trying to go.
Wait, what do I roll?
Probably a D12, I think.
Yeah, barbarian is d12.
So I roll
Oh
one
shit!
D12 and add my Constitution modifier.
And then add that to your health, yep.
Excuse me, don't mean to swear. Oh crap!
You now have 16.
Barnaby is now overpowered.
Okay, 14.
What happened?
I rolled a 12.
Does my max HP go up to
Nice.
Plus 4, so 16 added onto my health. So my health just doubled.
Okay.
That's a lot of HP.
So I have 32 health now.
Sorry to say, you're no match for Barnaby, but Barnaby is now overpowered. He's got action surge.